If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Hi, I'm Andrew Rich, and if you're like me, you look at the state of modern wrestling discourse and think, wow, what a cesspool. That's why I'm here to tell you about Music of the Mat Remix. That's right, your favorite wrestling music podcast is back with a new format, where I bring on a guest and we play songs related to wrestling-themed topics. It could be a wrestling reference, a wrestling concept, a wrestling pun, things of that nature. Now you might be saying, Andrew, that is a very, very tenuous connection to pro wrestling on a wrestling podcast network. Is this just an excuse to hang out with your friends and talk about music and ignore the rest of the wrestling landscape? Yes. Yes, it is. So listen to Music of the Mat Remix on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on Apple, Spotify, or your podcast player of choice.
Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragongate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragongate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Welcome back, everybody, to Wrestling Omakase. It is episode number 268. We're back after a week off. Hopefully you missed us. And this week, I am pleased to be joined by a returning guest. Hello, Paul.
Hello, John. Long time no speaking. After I had to bow out last time because I fucked up my throat real bad, so I couldn't talk.
Yeah, I was just telling you off the air, I'm a little hoarse. I don't know if it's because I had to get a tooth removed last week, which is obviously always unpleasant. I don't know if that's the reason, or if I'm just starting to come down with something now that it's gotten cooler in New York, or what. But
I mean, every time I'm on the subway, somebody is coughing, so I think that might just be it.
Yeah, I mean, it's also Nicole's been sick, and I obviously live with her, so it could be possible they're just coming down with something. Could be possible it's just because I stayed up all night watching the New Japan show and just woke up like a half hour ago here at 2 p.m. on
Could be anything.
Could be anything. Yeah, it could be anything. But how you been doing?
Yeah, I've been doing well. I've actually been doing some hotel booking today for the Japan trip.
Everybody's telling me I booked too many hotels for my trip, which I did probably.
How many have you booked?
I booked a lot. So okay, I get there on the 27th. I'm the longest I'm spending in one hotel is 3 nights, which is as soon as I get there.
Yeah.
So I'm doing like 3. It's 3 nights, then 1, then 1, then 1, then 2, then 2, and that's my initial Tokyo part. And then we move around. So that's when you and I are traveling together. So then it's one night Shizuoka, 1 night Nagoya, 2 nights Osaka, and then I go back to Tokyo for 1 night to go to the 2 Stardom Korakuens on the 10th and 11th, and I go home. It is a lot of hotels. I mean, I'm not someone who really gives a fuck about moving. Some people really hate moving hotels. Nicole, who I just mentioned, is one of them. I don't really care, especially since when I'm in Japan, I'm moving around a lot anyway. So it's really not that big a deal to me to drop. Like I don't stay in the morning, like I go out and stuff. So I'm moving around anyway. So I just either drop my bags off somewhere and then go get my bag, go check in whenever I feel like checking in. It's not really a huge deal to me. But I like seeing different hotels. I like seeing different rooms, and it's a way to stay in fancier places without, I cannot afford to spend like 10 nights at some of the places I'm spending nights at on this trip. So I basically have it split between fancier places and like, business hotel type places. So, but yeah,
I mean, that's fair. I think I'm more along like the lines of Nicole there, where I literally like because like I said, I just did some booking, right? And I literally like so much so I don't want to move around that I'm just gonna like base myself out of like Fukuoka for like 4 nights, and then I'm gonna just travel around from like Kyushu just from Fukuoka, because I don't want to like switch hotels every day, because like, look, I can just get to like Nagasaki in like an hour basically from there. So
yeah. Well, are you where did you already book your Tokyo hotel?
The Tokyo hotels I've booked for like the first stay. So I have one booked basically. I arrive on the 28th. Then I'm gonna stay like in a capsule hotel essentially until January 1st. And then on January 1st, I'm moving into the second hotel where I'm staying in that one until the 5th. Then I still need to decide, because then I basically have like a free day essentially that I have to decide still what I want to do, right? Because you're going to Dash and I'm gonna skip that one, so I'm probably gonna go to that little like peninsula south of Tokyo.
Yeah, I've been there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. Then obviously,
what is the name of that fucking famous town that used to be like a big resort town in the 80s? It's kind of like the Atlantic City, because now it's a little bit dead.
Yeah. I think that's the one I want.
Atami?
I think that might be it. Yeah.
I went there. It's nice still. I mean, you walk around, you could tell it used to be way nicer.
Bigger, yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it is still nice. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of like the Atlantic City without the gambling, because you could tell like it used to be way bigger and way nicer than it was. But
I assume then it's a lot cheaper now as well, so that might be
yeah. I mean, there's a resort in Atami. I didn't stay overnight there. I just kind of went to it because it was like, oh god, like 3 trips ago. I had a friend that was coming. It's a friend of mine, Nicole's, that came for just the first part of the trip. So he wasn't coming on the Shinkansen with us to go to like west to like Kansai and stuff. So he wanted to ride the Shinkansen just to ride the Shinkansen basically. And Atame is like a easy day trip from Tokyo on the Shinkansen, because I think it's like 40 minutes or something. So we went to Atame basically just so he could ride the Shinkansen, and then just walked around it for like an hour and a half, and then just went back.
Oh yeah, was that in 2019?
I think that was 2019. Yeah,
because I think I remember. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
My bad. I forgot that was that trip. Yeah.
No, yeah, but no, I skipped out on that trip to Atami. I think that might have been the day where then. Was that the day where I went to Gato Move back then? Might have been. Like I tried to remember what I did. Like I probably did something else that day. Yeah, probably.
I think I went to that was the Gato Move show. Isn't that the one with the May Sierra versus
sorry, no. That was the one in Shinkiba, but then actually later, me and Kelly actually went at Ichigaya. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say I saw May Sierra versus the fucking why
Riho.
like, thank you, Riho. I was going to say the AEW lady. That
Yeah, no, that was one of the best matches on the whole trip. Like,
yeah,
that
that
was
match
amazing.
fucking rolled. But yeah, so that the Tokyo part. What capsule are you guys thinking of staying at? Like one of those fancy ones? And I was looking at that one in Shinjuku.
No, I have one in Akihabara. It seems relatively fancy, but it's like it's literally in the center. It's like literally right in Akihabara, and it has like a hot spring included as well.
Oh, so you're going to be in Akihabara the night of the 31st?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's where I'm staying the night of the 31st too, at the Akihabara, Washington. So maybe.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Midnight karaoke.
Well, I was gonna say, do you want to go to? You can come to Mogra with me, maybe, if you want.
Ooh, that's that thing. Yes,
they're doing like that all night party or whatever.
No,
that's why I booked that. That's why I booked that on the 31st, because I wanted to go to that. So yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize we're staying in the same. So yeah, basically, I'm bouncing all over. So I have the 3 nights where I'm staying at Ryogoku. And then it's like the 30th, I'm at the Conrad, which I now have booked because I have a free night certificate, which is such a great feeling booking that. I just finally, the free night certificate came. It comes like the very start of October, basically. So you get that every year when you renew your Hilton Aspire card through Amex, and it's like the card is like $450 per year, I think. I think that's what it is still. It might be $550. I think it's $450. So which obviously is expensive. But you get a free night certificate you can use at any Hilton in the world as long as they have what's called standard award availability. So they have to have a base booking room available. So for this Conrad, they had standard award availability on December 30th still. I would have preferred it on January 1st if they had it. They didn't have it anymore, so whatever. But they had it for the 30th, where the point value is 130,000 points, already a ton of Hilton points. The cash rate, though, is fucking $1,600 for that night. So I get a $1,600 night room for $450 basically. That's before any of the other perks you get with that card, because it gives you like free Hilton Diamond, it gives you better earning on Hilton stays, like all this other stuff. But yeah, basically, if you can use that certificate to stay at a really nice place, if it makes sense for you, you basically make the entire value of that card annual fee up in that one free night, before you use any other perks or anything.
Sure would be nice if American Express gave you half of those benefits in Germany. Can't even do payments in foreign currency without like a 3.5% fee.
That is crazy. Because the whole thing in America is like being the card that people, like the jet setters, use or whatever. So all their cards in America have no foreign transaction fee, I think.
Well, because the problem I think, is that like it literally only operates from the US. I don't think they have like a banking license or anything like that in Europe. So what they actually do, for example, for any foreign currency transactions is, so unless that transaction is in US dollars, right? Like it's fine if it's in euros, but if that transaction is in like not US dollars, if it's like in yen, they won't do the conversion of euro into yen. They will do the conversion of euro into dollars and then into yen.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I get it. Are you the one who told me that we figured out why it works on every every Japanese site?
Yeah, because they're the JCP like partner essentially. So they basically anytime if Amex, it actually just runs through like JCB systems, and that's why it works in Japan basically everywhere.
Yeah, because we've discovered this from planning trips and stuff, and like buying. I bought your tickets. I bought like Snazzy's tickets. I bought a lot of people's tickets because you guys are both European, and I guess Amex isn't big in Britain either, I guess. And it's like the only card type you can guarantee will work every time on these Japanese sites. Like it's never given me a problem. Although I don't know if we talked about this in the air yet. So you had me buy you a ticket for Great, and they were the one fucking promotion that for some reason puts a block on using, because I already bought my own ticket for that show with my Amex Platinum, and I went to use the Amex Platinum on this again, and it blocked me, and it was like, no, you can't do that because you already used this card.
You already bought it.
Great is the only promotion that's ever done that to me on Lost in Ticket. It's not a Lost in Ticket thing, so it's a Great thing because I've used the same card to buy multiple people tickets to the same show before. So yeah, I had to use I think I used some other Amex card, the Hilton or the Delta. So yeah, I was like, okay, That's to use a different. Great is incredibly concerned about ticket scalping for their show. Okay, they're really, really concerned about it. So
look, because of the whole Subama thing, so we're actually probably going to talk about Great on like the Emerald Flow show like later this month, me and Gerard. So because after Subama showed up, we were both like, okay, we kind of have to like keep track of all of the Subama stuff. So I can say there is at least one person signed up to the Great like YouTube channel thing now, which is me.
Well, and you and Mike Spears.
Me and Mike Spears. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I think there's at least 18 people, because I think that video had like 16 likes. So at least there's 16 people.
I wanted to say too that Open the Voice Gate did really good coverage of the Great. Of the Great bullshit, the latest Great bullshit. I should say.
No, it's like such nonsense. Like
nobody else even. I mean, I don't watch it. You said you subscribe to the YouTube. I guess you're going to be the other English language coverage of Great. It's like you and Open the Voice Gate the only people who cover it, because God knows I don't subscribe to that shit. But I am going to the show on the 30th though. So.
That's the other thing where I was like, okay, kind of need to keep track of it, because I literally got a front row, like middle of the front row, I think, what it was as well, right? Like it's like
yeah. I got a counter seat because I've never had that before at Shinjuku Face. Whenever I've gone to Shinjuku Face, it's always been sold out before I could buy it. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to try. So the counter seats for people who've never been to Shinjuku Face, it's like that first elevated row, like right behind the ringside. It's only on one side, so there's not that many of them, and it's like they call it a counter seat because it has this long counter, because usually this is a concert venue, and I guess people sit there and drink during shows basically. So yeah, I've always wanted to try that counter seat. So when they had that available, I was like, let me get it for Great Dough. Why not?
I mean, I will say, having like somewhere to put your drink at a wrestling show is actually, it feels like, in a weird way, it feels luxurious, because like the local promotion here, GWF, like they have these like lounge seats in their venue that are like, it's like 50 euros a pop, but generally I actually get those because you sit like basically on this like couch around like a round table. And it's just really nice to just be at a wrestling show and sit on like a leather couch with like a table in front of you where you can just put your beer. So I do getting those.
Yeah. So Great, I have booked. But yeah, so I was going through my hotel bookings, right? So yeah, the 30th I have the Conrad, which is obviously very, very fancy, very nice. The 31st, like I just mentioned, I'm in Akihabara at a business hotel. The 1st, I'm staying at the Godzilla Hotel in Shinjuku, which is the Hotel Gracery. So the one with like the big Godzilla head peeking out. I mean, the room itself doesn't look anything that special. It's kind of a business hotel type place. And originally I wasn't going to book anything for the 1st because they were all kind of expensive for what you get. But I got a much better bonus at work than I thought I would. The end of fiscal year bonus. I was like, what the fuck? I can treat myself to Godzilla, I guess. The Godzilla Hotel. But it's also, I mean, the other good thing about it, because we were just talking about me moving hotels so much. So the 2nd to the 4th, I'm staying in Kabukicho also at the new hotel at Shinjuku, the Kabukicho Tower, the Bellevue Star, which is probably the nicest hotel I'm going to stay at the entire trip. It's brand new. Very, very nice, and I'm really looking forward to that one. But it'll be like the easiest hotel move in the world. So basically, I'll check out on the 1st. I'll check out on the 2nd. I'll walk like 30 feet, and there's my new hotel because it's like literally right next to it. So that will at least be a very easy hotel move. And yeah, then the 4th to the 6th, I'm at the Okura, which is another nice, very nice, like fancy 5-star Japanese hotel. And then we do the Shizuoka, Nagoya, Osaka thing.
Yep.
We're staying at more like functional places for the most part. Though the Shizuoka one looks really nice. It's like a corner room that we have. Yep. So hopefully that one is pretty nice. And then the last night I'm staying at another fancy hotel by the Imperial Palace. So I have a weird mix of like 5-star hotels and business hotels, but I do like the fancy. And I get like I do all this credit card min-maxing shit that I have all these credits to use at the fancy hotels. Like I got $300 off one fancy hotel and $200 off another fancy hotel, and obviously the free certificate for the Conrads. That's another reason why I book so many, is because each booking gives me another chance to use one of these hotel credits. So But yeah, it is a lot of hotels. So by the time we end the trip, I might be sick of moving hotels. But
See, instead, I actually basically, like I said, I stay at the Capitol Hotel until the 1st. And then from the 1st to the 5th, I stay at a Sotetsu Fraser Inn that is within walking distance of both the Dome and the Budokan. So I'm like,
so
you know what?
I know. Yeah. I know. I think I know exactly where you are. I think I looked
Yeah.
at that originally on the for the first. But yeah, I decided to go with the Gracery. I mean, the other thing about Japan too is like you're never that far from anything really.
Exactly. Yeah.
So even like moving hotels and shit, it's really not that hard in Japan.
No, it's fine. Like
I'm
it's
sure
easy enough.
there's other places where it'd be a much bigger pain in the ass, I think. But yeah, I mean like the and I'm gonna be moving around constantly for wrestling shows anyway, so it's like whatever. I mean the 31st I'm doing Ice Ribbon 11:30 and going straight from there to All Japan at Yoyogi late. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. You're gonna miss like all of the exciting like opening matches for All Japan.
Yeah, because I'll probably get there like 2:45 if the Ice Ribbon's over when I expect it to be. So yeah, I'll miss like the first 45 minutes. I mean, like whatever, it's not that big a deal.
I mean, actually, I actually just looked at the schedule a bit earlier, and what I realized is that basically I get into Fukuoka on the 12th. So, you know who actually is running a show like on the outskirts of Fukuoka on the 12th? Kyushu Pro.
I hope it's somebody. Oh, I was gonna say Kyushu Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I might actually get a chance to like get to like a show to get to a Kyushu Pro show. The thing is, it's like a really early show. It's like at 2 p.m. But like I'm in Bibu for like 2 days beforehand, so I should be able to like make that in time. That shouldn't be.
I told you we can go to Dragongate, right? Did I tell you?
Yeah, in Kobe. Yeah.
Yeah. So there, it turns out because obviously, as we talked about in the show before, they're like the one major promotion that doesn't run the Tokyo area during Wrestle Kingdom week. So I was originally like, I don't know if I can see them or not, but they're running Kobe the 8th and 9th, which is when we're staying in Osaka. Mm-hmm. So we have two options of shows to go to. I think what I want to do is I want to wait and see if Brother Yashi's bar is running anything on the 9th, because that would be, we go to Kobe, if we go into Kobe 2 days in a row, but if his show is running, if he's running another show at that Ring Soul bar, like I have to go back there because that was so awesome.
No. I'm fine with going to Kobe 2 days in a row. Like I like Osaka, but like it's also going to be my third time in Osaka. So if it just ends up being, we just like, it's not like to go to Kobe is not that hard. Like that's really close.
It's like 35 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
from Osaka.
Exactly.
So yeah, the 8th and 9th, if they're running something on the 9th, I'll go to Dragongate on the 8th and then go to Ring Soul on the 9th. If they're not running anything on the 9th, the Friday, then I guess we can go to either one. It doesn't really matter, but could even just wait until the cards come out, probably. I doubt that those shows are going to sell out. But
also, this is also going to be a good recommendation for people as well, because like if, for example, if you want to buy tickets in advance for shows in Japan, generally to like, you actually really like, if you go to like multiple shows of one promotion, generally what you actually can do is you only have to deal with the headache that is like the Japanese booking websites, like only once for like the first show that you're going to. Because what actually most Japanese promotions do is they just sell tickets to future shows at like other shows. They just have like a stack of tickets with them. So what I'm going to do is like when we go to like one of the Dragongate Kobe shows, is because I actually, when I'm back in Tokyo, they do run like a Korakuen while I'm there. So what I'm going to do, and that probably, I mean, maybe it might sell out. It used to for Dragongate, not nowadays, not so much, but you know, better safe than sorry. So I'm probably just going to buy like a ticket for like the Korakuen show, like at the like Kobe show for Dragongate, which that one's definitely not selling out. So we're fine there.
Yeah. Because you can actually pick your seat. I talked about that in the Japanese, like how to travel to Japan for wrestling episode I did with Quinlan. Yeah, because you can pick, because they'll have like a seat map, like a physical seat map where you can pick your seat. Yeah, which is cool.
Sometimes it just takes them a while to just file for all of the tickets, if you remember. I was buying the All Japan Korakuen tickets and her looking, because there was one ticket where she's like, I don't know where they are, and she looked for like 5 different stacks of tickets.
Yeah, no, I remember. That was at the Yoyogi show.
Yeah.
So, well, are you, I guess I could talk about this off the air. Do you want to sit for Budokan, or are we planning to get arena seats?
I think I'm fine. I kind of get where you're coming from with the stands.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be cool
Yeah.
for Budokan to sit in the stands. That's kind of what my idea was. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's coming up
I
in
think
like
if we get like if we get like the front row there, I think that's fine. Yeah.
So you want to do it then?
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that.
All
Yeah.
right, so I'll put you. Okay, so I got you down for that. So there you go. Negotiating who's sitting with who for everybody on the air to listen to. But yeah, the because like I don't know if we did it. I don't think I did an episode since they announced that. So yeah, Noah's running January 1st of the Budokan, which is a huge relief for me because obviously, as
Yes.
you know, when we were there 2 years ago, they ran the second, I think, at the Ariake.
Yeah.
Which the Ariake is kind of cool too. I mean, it's a brand new building, and I'm glad I got to go to it. But like Ariake or
Pain
Budokan,
to get
obviously,
to.
it's a pain to get to. Whereas the Budokan's right in the middle of downtown. The Budokan's like the last like legendary Japanese building I've never been to, basically. So that is really cool. That I'm gonna on my 6th trip to Japan, I finally get to go to the Budokan. Because when I went to the G1 in 2017, they were running Sumo Hall. Not the Budokan yet at that point. They moved to the Budokan the following year in 2018. And, you know, it never lined up with Noah because, again, Noah ran Ariake the year we went.
Yeah.
Last year, they obviously ran the Budokan for this show. So, yeah, and they took forever to announce this show compared to the previous year. Because I looked this up. Apparently, they announced the January 1st Budokan show in like June of 2023. June 2024 for the January 1st 2025 show. So I'm starting to get nervous. Like, are they just going to run Oda Ward or something? Is that why they're taking so long to announce it? But they finally did announce it a few weeks ago. So definitely relief, and I cannot wait to sit in that legendary building. So
No,
I mean, it might be it's probably a bigger draw than anything Noah could book at this point. So, but yeah. But yeah, so the trip is it's like 73 days away or something.
Oh God, no! Don't Jesus.
It's coming up so fucking fast. But I mean, the good thing is I paid for almost every hotel, so I just we're pretty much all good with that. I only have one hotel I have to pay for when I get there. So, but yeah, that's definitely something.
I mean, my thing is again, I'm like, not only am I staying significantly longer than you in Japan, I'm then also going to the Philippines for 2 weeks after that. Then I'm coming back to Tokyo for like a weekend. Like I'm out, like basically I'm not back, and like I'm basically gone for an entire month plus, like an entire month and a week nearly, I think.
That is really cool. Yeah. I would love to do a trip that long. It's something I've always thought about. It's mostly like trying to get Nicole on board because she's already annoyed that I'm going without her this close to the spring for like 2 weeks. I definitely couldn't get away with longer than 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then B, it's like hard to convince her to stay. Like I would love to just go there for like 6 weeks and work from there, even though the hours would be crazy. But like trying to convince her to go for that long is really difficult. So
yeah.
But maybe someday, who knows? But yeah, what's the other thing? The other thing I can give an update on before, and I know the listeners are dying to know about this: the Toronto Blue Jays. We did beat the fucking New York Yankees. We took them out in 4 games in the ALDS. So I was very unfortunate. So they went up 2-0. They absolutely destroyed them in the first 2 games in Toronto, where they owned them the entire year. They went like 8-1 against them, if you counting the regular season and the playoffs. And then the ticket prices for Game 3 here in New York plunged because it's a best 3 out of 5 in the first round. So they were facing elimination via sweep. So I bought my tickets to go to that, and then the Blue Jays blew a fucking 6-1 lead in that game, and that was like one of the most miserable experiences of my life, between blowing that lead and losing that game, and B, like I've gone to a ton of Blue Jay Yankees regular season games, and the Yankee fans are usually fine. They have a rep for kind of being assholes. I know Taylor, who he's host Jumping Bomb Audio. He also lives in New York, and he's a Cleveland Guardians fan, and he says whenever he goes to Yankees Guardians games that they're complete assholes to him. They're usually fine to me at Jays Yankees regular season games. It's also because I'm usually like visibly with another Yankee fan, either Nicole or somebody else, like another friend. So they usually don't go hard on me. I think because of that. But for the playoffs, apparently that goes out the window, because boy, did they go hard on me in that playoff game. If you want to hear a fun collection of slurs, you can hear all about it. And they were like, it was like extra like xenophobic too, because of the Canadian thing, and how like anti Canadian, I guess, like the current like MAGA type of person is right now. But so those are the ones I heard from, of course. But yeah, just a very miserable experience between what enormous assholes the Yankee fans were and the Jays blowing that lead. Then they came back and won Game 4 anyway, so whatever. I didn't go to that one because then the prices skyrocketed. So the Yankee fans paid a shitload of money to go to that game and then watch their team get like 3 hits through 8 innings and lose 5-2, just bow out completely meekly. But so that's the good news. The bad news is the Blue Jays lost Game 1 of the ALCS, which is the second to last round. People don't follow baseball, so they lost to Seattle Mariners yesterday, 3-1. This series is a best 4 out of 7, so losing Game 1 not quite as big of a deal as it would have been in the 3 out of 5, but yeah, it's still not good, obviously, especially since they have home field. So Game 2 is like in 2.5 hours as I'm recording this, so we'll see how that goes. But at least they beat the Yankees. So I watched Game 2. So Game 2 was in a bar in New York. I went to a bar in New York to watch it because it was my friend's birthday, and my friend and most of that friend group are all Yankees fans. So I was very popular that day cheering for the Blue Jays, and obviously sarcasm there. But I met one of your countrymen at this bar because he was like there because Sunday obviously is also football in America, and I guess he's like an American football fan who came over from Germany to watch these. He was watching these games in the bar in Manhattan. It was like this Irish pubs type place, and there's a million fake Irish pubs in New York. People don't know. And he was telling us later that he was also going down to Baltimore to watch the Ravens play because I guess he's a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Oh, that's bad. Oh no, they are really bad right now.
I am not an American football fan at all. For people to know, so like that's like the American sport I really do not like at all. Of the major 4, like basketball, I don't really watch either, but I really have nothing against basketball. American football, I just find so boring. But it's like one big commercial to me.
See, that's the one I do. That's the one I do like. But the thing is, I also only watch Red Zone, so I don't really get commercials. So,
but yeah, so he came up to me because I was the only one in the bar. Because obviously, once the baseball game started at 4, a lot of people were watching that instead of the football because it's the Yankees. And I was the only one happy because the Blue Jays were destroying them in that game. So I'm cheering, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Why are you cheering?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm a fan of the Toronto Blue Jays, and everybody else is a Yankee fan." And he's like, "Oh, you seem so happy." And I was like, "Well, besides the fact that this is the playoffs, the Jays are usually terrible. So I have no idea how the fuck we're absolutely destroying the Yankees like 10-1 right now." But I basically like explained to this man that it was very, very weird for the Blue Jays to be winning. So yeah, I just thought it was funny. I met one of your fellow countrymen at that bar, so he was. But I didn't realize he's having a bad time. He didn't talk about the Ravens at all. He just said he was a Ravens fan. So
yeah, they just lost. They got. I think they got shut out. They almost got shut out the week before, but then they also just lost like 3-17 to the Rams as well. Like their star quarterback is currently injured, and the entire team has just fallen completely apart without him.
I see. Okay. Well, what are you going to do, I guess? But why don't we get into these shows? We'll start out with New Japan. So before we get to King of Pro Wrestling, there were 3 major matches on the October 6th Korakuen, the road to King of Pro Wrestling Korakuen. This show did such a weirdly bad number. It did 1,161, which... that was their worst Korakuen number in quite a long time. It was a Monday show. It's always a hard sell. But the Road to show they did a few weeks ago, right before the Road to Destruction show, that had nothing on it. Basically, just had a never 6-man title match. Did like 1,380. And, for this show to do more than 200 less with the Desperado Doki junior title match main event, plus the 2 special singles matches, which is the 3 matches we're going to talk about, is a little weird. And I guess maybe says something about how little people care about this Doki Desperado match, after the Doki non-turn back at Dominion. Yeah. But yeah, just very, very, very disappointing number. Usually Desperado at Korakuen too, for all these, as much as people like to make fun of him for seemingly demanding every junior title match to happen at Korakuen, they've usually been very solid draws. I mean, they sold out a lot of Korakuens with this. So yeah, people didn't care about this one. So
I mean, they got outdrawn by the Mohammed Yone 30th anniversary show at Korakuen.
Yeah, because that was like Noah's lowest.
Yeah, that was one of Noah's lowest like draws of the year in Korakuen. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been keeping track of like the Korakuen average attendance. I don't include produced shows, so that won't drag down Noah for me, because to me like that's something weird, right? Like a special thing.
Yeah.
Where to me I almost don't count it. Usually that's negative for the promotion not to count the produced shows. The produced shows usually do really well, but in this case it's a positive for Noah's average to not cover that. So because they would have just dragged it down if anything. So the 3 matches worth talking about here. It starts with the 2 special singles matches leading up to the tag title match. The first one was Shota Umino defeating Oscar in 1604 with the second chapter. I thought this was a very good match. I mean, I will say the very early portion was a little boring and the crowd was not very into it. But once they did this really cool little spinning DDT out of the corner by Umino that landed at this very high angle, that was kind of like the big early highlight that started getting the crowd more into it. And Oscar, Oscar's been, obviously he's been overshadowed by his tag partner so far since they came back to New Japan. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. I've seen some people be very negative on him, and I don't really get it because I think he's been fine for the most part. He maybe is a little clunky at times, but he's also like, 6'8" or whatever the fuck he is. And, it's going to be weirder for him. What the fuck is 201 centimeters in freedom units?
He's 6'7".
6'7". Okay, I was very close. I've gotten much better at that, converting centimeters to feet and inches.
I just went to Cage Match, which translated it for me.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So Oscar, he's a much bigger dude than everybody else. He's gonna have, I think there's gonna be that awkward transition period where he's learning how to work with these guys. He did some cool offense here, especially like around the 10-minute mark. He just sort of like threw Umino off of him from a rear waist lock and hit this like big leg drop that he's been doing, which that looked pretty cool. He was like giving him these stiff kicks on the mat and in the corner and just like taunting him in German. Just had good presence here, I thought. So that was good to say. Umino, I thought he was fighting really well from underneath here. He survived multiple sleepers from Oscar. And again, Oscar being much larger than everybody looks good doing that big sleeper from behind. And then finally hit the big lariat and the second chapter for the pin. Couldn't quite get to 4 on this given how boring it was early, but I thought it was very good. I went like 3 3/4. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With Oscar, the thing for me with him is I think he's just much better as a babyface as well. So I'm not surprised that I wouldn't say that like the Knockout Brothers are heels, but they're kind of like heel leaning tweeners, I think is the best way, right? So like I think that's like a bit of the reason why like it takes him a bit to like really like find himself in that style, where I think like generally, for example, in like WXW, I think his strongest work was almost like working from underneath essentially, or like working as like the guy that comes in off of like the hard tag and everything in a tag match. So I think that had something to do with it, but otherwise this match definitely like exceeded my expectations. I thought Umino worked really well. I think Umino showed like a lot of good fire as well. Like it almost like, and even more so like later in the tag, like in the title match, I think this reminded me more of like the Umino that we kind of saw towards like the tail end of 2023 and early 2024, when it seemed much more like, oh, maybe this guy actually does have something. Maybe this guy actually does have the potential to be a top guy. So I think he's like refining some of that spark a little bit now. I think he's also kind of settled nicely like into this like new like kind of like a bit, because he's like thickened up a bit his body, right? Like I think he's working to that style pretty well now. He's figured that out very well. I also agree that like it didn't quite get to 4 stars for me, but it definitely got a lot closer than I thought this match would.
Then the second half of these 2 singles matches to build the tag title match was Yuya Uemura defeating Yuto Ice in 1529 with a Kimura. So if people somehow don't know the backstory here, Yuto, I mean, they tell you repeatedly during the match, but I guess we might have listeners that don't watch New Japan. So Yuto dislocated his shoulder immediately during his debut match on February 14th, 2021 against Yuya, and officially lost the match by forfeit only 52 seconds in. So the idea was, here he is, nearly 5 years later, looking for revenge on Yuya at Korakuen, and they worked this match with such intensity, and Yuto just being out for blood, but then the idea being it brought intensity out of Yuya that we don't normally see. Yuya just basically just threatening to break his arm again. So there's this incredible closing stretch where Yuya, gets a Fujiwara armbar on, is threatening to break his arm again. He lets it go for a second because I guess he feels bad for him and doesn't want to break his arm. And Yuto spits in his face and says, "Fuck you." That was awesome. And Yuya just hits the deadbolt and then puts him in a Kimura. And Yuto has to tap before he gets his arm broken again. And he looks so upset about it. I mean, just super, super fucking intense stuff here. This is everything the Knockout Brothers and Yuya and Shota are doing, as we're going to talk about with the King of Pro Wrestling match too, is what I think most people want out of New Japan. I compare it to the main event on the King of Pro Wrestling show, which I saw somebody describe as and I don't remember who said this, so I'm sorry for not giving them proper credit in Discord, but it was somebody in the Discord who said this is what an AEW fan imagines New Japan to be like, which I thought really sums that up. This is what New Japan actually should be like, is this style. And this was such awesome stuff here. This was 4.25. If you missed this match because you didn't see the score, and it's worth going out of your way to see. This was just fucking awesome stuff.
Yeah, no, I would say this was the best match on a Road to show in years.
Yeah, because I would say there was that 6-man tag on the Shinichi Championship, but that wasn't a Road to technically.
Yeah, exactly. So this was just awesome. I think I went 4.25 on this. Just they said so much heat and you could feel the animosity between the two, which I think that's always such a thing that just so massively enhances a match. The spot where Yuto Ice put when he did that knee to Yuya when he was leaning against the table and put his head basically right when they pretended that he just kneed his head through a table. Yeah. That was fucking awesome. Just insane match. After the previous one, I was okay, I expected this one to be better, but then after the last one, I was I'm not sure if this one is actually going to be better. And then the other match was good. This was great. This was a genuinely great match. Just insane action. I think it set up stuff for the title match later on really, really well, with Uemura tapping him out yet again. I think it gave away a little bit what the finish was going to be for the title match, obviously, because you're not going to beat your new champions on their first defense if they just lose 2 singles matches on the setup show, basically. That would have just basically made the KOB look like such jokes. But yeah, they didn't do that. I think they set up the title match so well, what the story for that was going to be. And I thought this was just, I think we are going to see this match so many times as a singles match. I want to see that, we're going to see that in the G1. And this is definitely what level of title this is going to be for. I don't think it's going to be a question that this will be a singles titles match eventually. But I think the question legitimately can be asked, what title will this be for? Because I could see this be a world title match eventually.
Yeah, totally. The main event, the IWGP Junior title, Doki defeats El Desperado in 17-17 by referee stoppage to become the 99th champion, and ending Desperado's reign that started back on January 4th at the Dome. He was trying to make his 9th defense here. I don't know. I mean, the crowd started chanting for Doki at one point in this match, which surprised me. I'm okay, they still like him, I guess, to some degree. But yeah, this was fucking stupid. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's lately they've been doing everything they possibly can to make even people who, like me, who didn't hate the house, hate the house, and not in a good way. Because this is to end Desperado's fucking junior title reign. That was the best title reign in New Japan this year by a mile. mean, like I said before, he's like a most outstanding wrestler candidate to me from the junior title reign he had. On this fucking parade of absolute bullshit is just incredible to me. And it's like, you could put it as a critique of Desperado too, because I'm sure he had to sign off on, obviously, since we kind of know New Japan people are just kind of doing whatever the fuck they want at this point. And he basically has this title all year, doesn't put over any of the younger wrestlers. Beats Fujita twice, and gets to do whatever he wants, and even puts out the second Fujita title match to do the fucking death match with as great as it's one of my favorite matches of the year, but still he puts off the second Vegeta title match with the Wins Best Super Junior to do the death match with Jun Kasai, and then he just like loses the title to Doki on absolute bullshit here. I guess to set up a rematch at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know where else they could be going with this short notice, but I don't know. I mean, like, what the fuck? I mean, this is so fucking stupid. It wasn't even good. I mean, the end of it looks so goofy too, with Show like hitting him with this fucking like plastic mirror or whatever the fuck. It just looks super goofy, and it wasn't even like good interference. I don't hate everything the house does, but this just sucked, and I gave it like 2 stars. It's just not a good match at all. Not a good way to end this title reign. I mean, I guess, like I said, they want to run back the junior title match at the Dome after the Doki injury last year, but like, why not just do it without doing this first? I don't know. It's very like it feels like they had their plan for how they wanted to do like doesn't it feel like Doki just wanted to turn heel all along, and they didn't even care that it no longer made sense? Even though he got injured and the fans didn't want to see it, right? Isn't that what it feels like?
No. That was actually going to be my point, where I was like, this whole thing from the very start just felt like such a, well, we had this plan where Dookie was going to turn heel, like probably after he lost the title. Like realistically, he was probably going to lose the title at the Dome to El Desperado anyway. Like, right? Like, I don't think the result of the match really changed based on his injury. That's my general assumption. So then they probably would have, like, I don't know, turned him at like Dash or sometime down the line or whatever. So that would have happened, and then he got injured, so they couldn't do the turn whenever they actually wanted to do the turn. And instead of actually coming up with like either pivoting and not turning him, because again, there's like a very obvious like story here of him coming back from the injury as like the super baby face essentially, and taking on the guy that like won the title in the match, like where he got injured, right? Instead, they just were like, no, he is supposed to be a heel at this point of the year, so he's just gonna come out as a heel. And again, I do feel like what happened, like, right, like I think including him regaining the title here was the plan originally. It's such a like weird, stubborn reaction from New Japan to just completely ignore the like really obvious good story of him coming back from injury and winning the title here. And instead, it's just, as you said, I mean, okay, the crowd sometimes chanted for Dookie, but what most often the crowd just like did in this match was just kind of be silent. Like, that was the most common crowd reaction, was just kind of like, especially on the finish, the crowd was just kind of like, I guess, sure, I don't know. Like, and that was my reaction as well, was like, really? Like, now we have Dookie as a heel, as champion, when like he should be champion again. That's fine, but like not like this. I don't know. It's just a bad story. It's just bad booking.
Well, that is a theme for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately,
they are one of the worst, if not the worst, book promotions in the world. Which is, I mean, they're barely booked, is the thing, right? Like, it's very much like people kind of do whatever. I mean, the thing. I mean, it's been done to death at this point, but like they have amazing in-ring wrestling style. I'd say very, very good in-ring wrestling, and just horrible booking. So it makes them such an annoying promotion to follow, where I'm always like looking forward to seeing certain wrestlers, especially, and seeing matches, and then like the booking is so stupid. I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I hate this promotion. So it's like very frustrating. Where, if the wrestlers at least would stop having great matches, then I could just hand wave the promotion entirely. But the wrestlers insist on having great matches like all the time, so it's still really worth watching to me. But yeah, the booking is just horrible. The other show that had a title match, I did not watch this. It was a junior tag title match on Saturday the 11th in Saitama with Kukai, who's another Mexican indie scummer that Desperado knows, I guess. But yeah, it was Desperado and Kukai losing to Sho and Doki in 2034. So Doki is now a double junior champion, everybody.
As we all predicted.
As we all predicted.
As a heel.
But yeah, as a heel. So there you go. Did you watch that match? I didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that one, no.
Yeah, so I didn't hear great things. So, but that brings us to the actual King of Pro Wrestling show proper from earlier today. The attendance, first of all, on the 13th. So if people are wondering why this is Monday the 13th at 4 p.m., it's because it's a holiday in Japan. It's also a holiday in America, so I was able to stay up all night and watch it live. But it's because here where it's like fucking, Genocide Man Day here in America. Yeah, so Columbus Day. And in Japan, it's like Sports Day or something, I think.
Japan, the holidays are always so random. It's literally either always the emperor or like the most random thing you've ever heard of.
Yeah, I don't. It is something. It's like that is for sure. It's always something really weird.
Right, let's see. Yeah, it is Sports Day, and then the next one they have coming up is Culture Day on November 3rd.
But yeah, that's the so it is a holiday. It did 5,372 for the number. So, that's not a good number. But it's like they've drawn worse sumo numbers, obviously. I mean, but it's still not a good number. I mean, it's like so 2 years ago, 2003, they did 5,002 for Evil Sonata. Last year they did 6,211, which was Naito and Zack. So obviously it's way down from last year. It's very slightly up from 2023, but like it's hard to call that any big success given everybody talked about the 2023 number being a complete disaster. That was the Evil Sonata main people don't remember. And Evil Sonata, like, at the time people, people made fun of that match a lot. And obviously they did not have the advantage that this match had, which is, Evil did not win the G1. It was not Evil getting a G1 winner's title shot. It was, kind of this lame duck title shot before they go to the Dome. And, back when that was still the case. So to not even do 400 more fans for the G1 winner against Zack obviously is not good and speaks to the lack of interest in seeing Takeshita challenge for the IWGP title here. But yeah, I mean, it still did. I mean, Noah would have killed for that number, as we'll get to, but it's still not a good number. That is for sure. I mean, it almost did the same number as Red Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. did in Kobe a few weeks ago, because that show did 4,672. So it was closer to that number than it was to last year's Ryogoku number. So yeah, not a good number. But I guess it could have been worse. I mean, it was I was a little surprised it didn't do even worse, because every time I checked the ticket sales, it looked pretty bad. But it's obviously still not a good number.
I mean, it's also like, for example, okay, if you compare it to like other like King of Pro Wrestling as well, but it's like also like just so much less as well than like Sakura Genesis earlier this year as well. Well, like that show like drew like 6,640. And that had like Hiroki Goto and David Finlay in the main event. So like, right, like, okay, like you have some of the argument, okay, like that show still had like Naito on it, but still, I think again, like if you drop like basically like within a year, you drop like nearly like more than 1,000 people, right? Like from like Sumo Hall to Sumo Hall, I think that's a bad sign. And yeah. I'm genuinely curious. I mean, obviously, Sakura Genesis is going to be hard to beat. But do you think there might be a chance that Stardom ends up drawing the best number in Sumo Hall this year? Because it's not going to be Marigold, obviously. Because just looking at like how much is already sold out for like the Stardom Sumo Hall
Well,
show.
the Stardom show though is only one per box though.
So that you mean it has no chance of getting to Sakura
I don't think
Genesis?
so. I think the most it can do is like, what can you do it for one per box? Maybe 3,500 to 4,000 or something. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like they should have done 2 per box, honestly, but they went, because last year it was 2 per box, but with the stage.
Mm-hmm.
So the stage eats up a lot of the seating. This time, because it was the night after Ultimate Party. This time it went to 1 per box. But yeah, so it's just but they got rid of the stage. So I believe the capacity ends up being about the same. And last year, what the fuck number did it do last year? It did like 3,600, right? Or something, I think.
I mean, you should beat that one at least then.
Yeah, I just don't know what the capacity is with 1 per box. I don't know what the max is. I mean, they're going to do probably pretty close to the max, judging by the ticket sales they have. But last year it did 4,023. So I would assume it would do about the same.
Yeah.
Probably this year with the 1 per box, but no stage. But I get, the tickets are moving really well. Every time I check, they, that all the sections look pretty, there's a lot of like sold out and few remaining sections. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what the actual number ends up being. I don't think it can beat this though, based on the 1 per box thing. Yeah. But yeah, there is a Stardom connection here. Besides that, obviously, which the opener added very last minute, interestingly, was Sayuri defeating Sari in 1456 with the Shu Sekai. I think I'm saying that wrong, but whatever. The fucking like electric chair drop she does.
Yeah.
And that made her the new IWGP Women's Champion. I believe the sixth Women's Champion, I think. Doesn't have it on the New Japan site for
there's
some
not
reason.
that many. She is the 6th champion, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of talk around this. So this was added kind
also
of out
first
of nowhere.
2-time champion.
Yeah, first 2-time champion. Because it was like Mercedes, Mayu, Suri. Oh no, not Mercedes. I'm forgetting one. It was Kairi Sane.
Yeah, Kairi.
Then Mercedes, Kairi, Mercedes, Mayu, Suri, Suri. So yeah, 6th champion.
And again, on her first reign, never defended the IWGP Women's title on a New Japan show.
Yeah, because she only had the one defense in England against Alex Windsor. So Suri goes over to America, defeats Alex Windsor in Ring of Honor, which, whatever. I don't know why the fuck that had to be a Ring of Honor instead of Collision, but I guess it's up for free on their YouTube anyway if you want to watch it. So it's not on Honor Club. I haven't watched it, but I've heard good things.
I think it's up. I think it's up on Stardom World though.
Oh yeah. I think it's also on and New Japan World. I think because it's IWGP. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably get around to watching it at some point. I'm sure it was really good because Sari is really good, and Alex Windsor's good when I've seen her. But yeah, there's a lot of scuttlebutt about this being added so last minute. So we're gonna get to the Stardom Korakuen. I don't know how to really put this. Basically, so Sari came into Stardom earlier this year. She said the stuff about wanting. She basically like came in as the outsider, saying, I think her exact quote was something like, "I'm going to do real wrestling." A lot of people in Stardom are not doing real wrestling. It was something like that, and the Stardom fans started booing her very, very early. She shows up to confront Sayuri after she beats Sari at Yokohama. And there's like this one guy in the crowd. I know a friend of the show, Velky Braca, who was in the building, specifically said it was one guy who started booing her when the other fans were not really reacting to her at all. And it kind of spread from there to the rest of the Stardom fans really, really getting on her. And it felt like she wasn't prepared for either the level of booing or just the booing in general, because it always felt like it was throwing her off or something when she was in Stardom. I mean, she still had some amazing matches in Stardom, obviously. But it reached it became this big controversial thing where like there was a Tokyo, was it Tokyo Sports or Weekly Pro Wrestling? It was either one of those two publications where they ran this whole cover article that was like, why is Sari getting booed? Where it was treated like this controversial thing. And, she was apparently getting like online harassment from certain Stardom fans in Japan, like even up to the level of death threats, apparently, which, I mean, people can go very hard anonymously on the internet. I think we all know that in either language, but I've seen it out of Japanese fans before, unfortunately. So it did get very toxic, I will say. But the other people complained about the Stardom fans, harassing her and booing her, and it became kind of, it became kind of like correlated or whatever. It became kind of like tied in together, where I doubt every single person in Korakuen Hall booing her was also sending her death threats on Twitter or whatever. But it became the same thing to people, and it became this big story. So by the time we get to the Korakuen that we're going to talk about later in the show on October 11th, a couple days before this, the fans are not reacting to her at all anymore because they've been so kowtowed by all this, talk on Twitter and talk on social media and stuff about how, they shouldn't be treating Suri like this, that they just weren't reacting to her match at all. So whatever heat they did have with this seems to have dissipated, and it seems like it became an uncomfortable situation for everybody. So I don't know if this was a change of plans to get this belt off her faster. It feels that way, given how fast they announced this like a few days before the show. And I guess they also had to wait until after Suri did her title match with Alex Windsor in Ring of Honor. Sorry, people fucking pinging me on Discord when I'm trying to record. I hate when they do that because it always throws me off. But yeah, like so they had to do the Ring of Honor title match first. So it could just be because of that. But the scuttlebutt seems to be that this is like Suri's last date for a while at least. And Marigold does have a mystery they're a mystery opponent they're calling an S instead of an X for their own Ryogoku show in a couple weeks. So everybody assumes that's probably Suri. It does. Where I differ from people is I don't necessarily think that means she's done with Stardom and done with Bushiroad. She did backstage say she wants to win this belt back, so it could just be a thing where she's gonna go back to Marigold now for a little while and do her thing there, and then come back to Stardom again later when some of this heat dies down and everything. She's a freelancer; she can do whatever she wants at the end of the day. And she is going to cycle. She could just be cycling around. But if this is it for her, I mean, she had a great run when it comes to match quality, obviously, and this match we're going to talk about was fucking awesome. But it does seem like they left some stuff on the table, especially with her and Saya, which was felt like such a hot program with her and Hate for a little while, and just obviously just. But I mean, if she was getting legitimate online harassment, which it sounds like she was, then maybe they just needed to get out of the situation. So it's a tough one to talk about. It's just kind of it's beyond obviously wrestling booking or whatever. But this is what they end up doing. They end up doing the title change here in New Japan. They got more time than I expected. I mean, obviously the joke with IWGP women's title matches on New Japan shows is they get like 10 minutes usually if you're lucky. Here they got almost 15. The crowd didn't really care that much, which doesn't surprise me because you have the combination of being two wrestlers they don't really know and also sexism. So, but they actually booed Suri a little early on, which I guess those were the Stardom fans that were there. But it didn't really take later on in the match. It kind of stopped at that point. But yeah, they hit each other very hard. They did manage to get some reaction on them here and there. I mean, honestly, the crowd was just as quiet for long stretches of Takeshita and Zack too. But like, the actual the match itself, I thought was really awesome. It just, not on the same level of the two earlier matches this year, but that's nothing to against this match. I mean, one of them is my match of the year, the June match. I gave 5 stars to. The other one's 4 3/4. So this match was awesome, just not quite at that level. I went like 4 1/4 on it. Get still one of the best matches of the night, probably the second best match of the night, unless I'm forgetting something. So
Yeah, no, it was that for me as well. So this match is a big match, right? This is like a big match for Stardom as well. I mean, you just explained, for example, why it was put on this show rather than a Stardom show proper and everything. So I kind of get that maybe you want to blow this off on a big show if Suri is actually leaving because of this whole situation, then I get why they put it here. I still think it's really, really shitty, for lack of a better term, to put this as the opener. Like, yes, they did give them more time. I think it's still kind of a joke to like put them in the spot that normally Young Lions are in exclusively. So I think that's still bad. Like, I'm not saying make this the main event, because again, these are two wrestlers that the crowd isn't necessarily really familiar with, and that was evident in this match as well, where, as I said, they didn't make that much noise. But it's not like you had that much other amazing stuff on the show either. So you could have probably bumped this up the card a little bit at the very least. I could have put this, for example, like, I don't know, maybe like around the level of like the television title match, to like at least acknowledge that it's like, a title that is like, I don't know, somewhat on a level that needs to be respected, and not literally the title that is just the curtain jerker title. So I thought that was disrespectful. But then otherwise, yes, the match itself was really, really good. Like, I mean, these two are two of the best wrestlers in the world. This is one of the best kind of like series of matches that we've seen this year as well. And they kind of did, like, I would say, like a little bit of like a pared down version of what they would normally do. So it was still really, really good. It was still pretty great. Like, I went 4 stars on this one. And I would also say, yeah, it was the second best match on the show as well, because there are 2 matches later on that I think are relatively high touted that I just did not really like nearly at the same level. Because again, I don't think it had like the same level of like, for example, like Heat not Heat in terms of like crowd reaction, but it's not like the later stuff had Heat in terms of crowd reaction either. I think just more in terms of like the interactions and like the way they told the story in the match as well. Suri got a little bit of the boost, but I think that kind of like it played into like the match story as well, of her like seeming kind of shaken everything and just kind of taking it out on Shuri in some way, and like in a kayfabe way, obviously. So I thought, yeah, pretty great match. It's unfortunate if this is like the end of Suri in Stardom for a while, because I thought she was pretty damn great. But then again, I mean, if she goes back to Marigold, I mean, that promotion also needs all of the help it can get, really. So if she can, like, and there's a bunch of like really, really great wrestlers there too. So if she goes there and does some stuff there, then I'm sure the matches she will have there are going to be great. And then whenever the heat dies down, I'm sure Stardom will be more than willing to take her back too.
Yeah, I think she's going to be back. Yeah, I do think she'll be back. But match number 2, David Finlay, Taiji Ishimori, and Clark Connors defeating Shingo Takagi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Teton. Finlay pinning Teton in only 7:58 with the overkill. This match, first of all, it ended up being kind of big given the storyline development later that we'll get to, which I cannot believe. Like the tease of Finlay and Tsuji, like Tsuji offering him a handshake at the end of the Kobe match, and Finlay like kind of just looking at him and smiling. I can't believe that actually led to something. I thought that for sure that was just the two of them doing shit on their own. But yeah, this match was really good. I mean, like I'm shocked it only went 8 minutes, because it felt like it did not feel that short watching the show live. Like it was like all action. And the not LIJ people just really kept up the tradition of LIJ of just always going super hard in these random multi-mans. And obviously being in a bigger building too helps, but it didn't. I mean, they still went way hard in the other 6-man tag. So yeah, this was really good. I went 3 3/4 on it. Just super high energy. The crowd was really into it. I'll give a spicy take that might annoy some people, including my guest right now. This was better than every match on the Noah Ryogoku show except for one, which would say something about how little I liked most that Noah Ryogoku show. But
yeah, I think I would disagree with that one. I thought this was fine, honestly. It wasn't a bad match, but it was also like, to me, it was like a relatively standard like 6-man tag match as well. I'm also not the biggest fan of unaffiliated. I think it's just really lame to kind of just keep the former LIJ together.
Well, I think the angle we're going to talk about later is like the start of a big shakeup, I think.
Yes, hopefully, because again, I thought there was a chance to shake something up when Naito left, and the promotion just Like, I think that's one of the bigger booking sins, to be quite honest, that they've done this year, is just keeping these guys together instead of trying to do something new with them and just giving them the lamest unit name I've ever heard. So
yeah, to me, it almost went back around to be a little charming, but it was definitely lazy.
yeah, I mean, unless obviously, yeah.
I'm just saying, I get a kick out of that shirt that's like the New Japan logo, but then instead of lion mark, it just says unaffiliated in kanji.
Yeah. No, but to me, like maybe the only way it works is like if like Naito comes back and then they're just like, well, we're not unaffiliated, we're just LIJ again. Like that almost would be like, that almost would excuse it, but I guess maybe not with like the thing that is happening later on the show. But yeah, otherwise, again, but I thought this was a perfectly fine like 6-man tag match on the undercard.
Yeah. So that's that match, and that was, you know, very, like I said, very good. This is like sort of the early peak of the show. I mean, the next match was something. The Ryogoku Riot match, Drilla Maloney defeating Sonata in 13:37 with the Drilla Killer. I mean, look, this was definitely not boring. It didn't. They didn't go too long. First of all, what the fuck was up with the second Sonata during the entrance? Why were there two Sonatas? There was like a Sonata wearing that snake skin jacket or whatever the fuck he has, and then the camera went out, and then they panned into the fucking crowd, and there was Sonata was there with his boom boxes and everything. Who was the other Sonata? He looks a lot like Sonata. Did he fucking teleport? Like, I don't understand. So Sonata have a twin brother no one's ever told us about? Like Tsuji?
Maybe.
Very strange. They basically just did a wild brawl here. Like, Sonata bladed like 2 seconds into it, and Drilla bladed and like fucking cut his whole head open for this. This match was like alternatively like cool and stupid at the same time. It ultimately was like kind of entertaining crap, so I kind of enjoyed it. But like the fact they did, okay, this is the only match, one of the only times where it would have been legal for House of Torture to interfere immediately, because apparently Ryogoku Riot was no DQ, no count out, and they waited for a ref bump still to run in, which is fucking, it's obviously incredibly stupid, but it's also fucking hilarious. Like, the House Torture guys back there like, are we allowed to run in? Is that okay? Oh, the ref bump, now you can definitely run in. Which was like, I was fucking cracking up watching it. And then, like, the ref bump made... Okay, so, like, they do the ref bump. Drilla gets a visual pin off the Drilla Killer. I'm like, oh, well, Drilla's going to lose then, I guess. And they wanted to give him the visual pin. But he fucking wins anyway! So I was like, well, what the fuck was the point of the ref bump and the visual pin then? He just beats him out twice here.
Yes.
It was very extremely funny match. I just gave it 3.5. I don't know. It was I enjoyed it at least, but it was obviously it was not it's nothing you have to watch or anything, but it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, what I will give this match is, like, again, both men's like willingness to like blade for like a third match from the bottom, right? Like, it's like that's so much more effort than you really needed to give this match, because when I thought this was like no disqualification, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Because this is probably going to be like a boring hardcore match or whatever. And it's like, no, it was way more entertaining than that. And especially Drilla, I think you have to really give it to him of just like, basically like he really tried to make something of this. Like, he really was like selling this really hard. I think he sold this really hard on like the Road 2 shows as well, where he's just like, no, I'm going to kill Sonata. Like, he wore like a shirt that basically just said like RIP Sonata on it. And so again, he sold this way really, really hard. Like, you felt that like he knows, I guess, that this is like his chance to maybe get like a bit more of a push as well. And I would say, like, I don't know what like the ceiling is for Drilla Maloney. I don't think it's that high, to be honest, but I think he at least has earned himself like a bit of a singles push with this, because he definitely showed like willingness to just like go all out no matter what it actually is that he's asked to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, it's he should get probably more of a push. I totally agree. The next match, the Hiroki Goto's return match. Sadly, Goto did not come back as a fat man, so I guess they're gonna play E Honda with CGI or something.
That's right. I forgot about that.
It's going to be Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, and Yo defeat. This match was Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, and Yo defeating Ryohei Oiwa, Hartley Jackson, and Kosei Fujita, with Goto pinning Hartley and 7:55 with the GTR. Unlike the other 6-man tag, this was just a match that existed. 2 3/4, just very much just there. Really, I struggle to remember a single thing that happened. But Goto and Hartley did, or no, not Goto and Hartley. Yo and Hartley did like a fucking standoff for like with the sumo pose, and Yo was wearing like an E Honda t-shirt, which was kind of funny, I guess. But that's the highlight, that's saying something.
Yeah, I actually have to say that I missed out on this match because I went and took a shower because it was early in the morning for me.
You missed absolutely nothing. So
yeah, that's literally why I was like, okay, if I have any chance to like go and like take a shower, because I knew there wasn't going to be an intermission, then like this would be the chance. So I went.
The 5th match was the World TV title, also ELP's 20th anniversary match, also Hiroshi Tanahashi Final Road Connection. Tanahashi and El Phantasma went to a 15-minute time limit draw. I mean, look, first of all, how the fuck? Hiroshi Tanahashi has had some of the most legendary moments in Ryogoku Sumo Hall in his career, including maybe still the best match I've ever seen live against Naito in 2017, the G1 like block decider. And this is his last match at Ryogoku. Like, oh my god! I know some people like think the ELP hate is a meme, and it kind of is, I guess, to some degree. But he really to deserve the last match for Tana. Like, come on, man! This had to be his last Ryogoku match against ELP for the stupid belt nobody cares about. I mean, look, they started out doing like comedy about air guitars and shit. It was very goofy. I will say, like, there's been way worse ELP matches this year. This wasn't bad or anything. ELP was like, doing some limb selling, selling his knee. There was one spot that he said that was really stupid. So he does this big dive. He does a pretty nice tope to Tana on the outside. Then he does this big dive over the railing, and Tana moves, and he just crash lands. That did look like it sucked for real. And they're doing the 20 count tease. But for some reason, he like so you'd think he would just stay behind the railing to tease he's not going to make the 20 count. Instead, he gets up pretty quickly, gets back into the ringside area pretty quickly, but then like starts flopping around on the ringside area. Like he keeps getting up and falling back down in this really fake looking way that just looks awful. And like, so he's flopping around like a fish out of water and like almost like falls down on his own twice. Like, I don't know. It doesn't look like your knee's out, bro. It looks like you're having a spasm or something. It looks really bad. And he finally gets back in at 19. So that looked really stupid. I thought other than that, his leg selling was mostly pretty good. Right up until the point when he hit like a super kick out of nowhere. But yeah, it was very, I don't know. It was very like, this match was like not great or anything. But it was, I've seen worse ELP matches this year. And he sold the like way worse against Narita in that G1 match they did here. So 3 1/4. It was pretty good. Wasn't anything I hated or anything, but for Tanahashi's last Ryogoku match, this was fucking stupid.
Yeah. I agree with you. It could have been worse. I still didn't think it was all that good. Like, most of it was just really, really boring because, yeah, I'm also not the biggest fan of ELP, and Tanahashi at this point is just so beyond washed that, like, there's just nothing left anymore, unfortunately. And this just kind of meandered on. And I'm also not the biggest fan of time limit draws, so there's just, I get it. Like, you don't really want ELP to beat Tanahashi, I guess. You definitely don't want Tanahashi to win this belt. So this was really realistically your only option. But then again, if that is your only option, why even book the match in the first place? Like, might have literally been more meaningful if this had been, like, not meaningful, but like would it have been worse if, let's say, this had been a tag match of like El Phantasmo and Jado beating Hiroshi Tanahashi and like one of the young boys? Would that have been a worse way to go? Like, I don't think so, right?
No, probably not.
So you could have just done that instead of having us sit here for 50 minutes and just have this really, really boring match. And again, yes, one of the greatest wrestlers ever to step foot in Sumo Hall goes out on like this match. Like, that's just, I don't know. That's just kind of sad, to be honest. Like, quite literally, you know what? Because you were talking about the like Noah Sumo Hall show. Genuinely, I think it would have been better if Tanahashi's last match in Sumo Hall had been like the match on the Noah show, because that was a better match than this.
I didn't think that was better, but it was a better. It's still probably better goodbye. But
yeah,
I just thought that match was kind of nothing. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. Well, I mean, they were close anyway. So, also, anyone thinking we might get Tanahashi's even a tease of his opponent at Wrestle Kingdom? We did not. It was just on to the Never title match. So very strange. We still have no idea who the fuck Tanahashi's facing.
Well, there was one tease that I don't know if it was.
No, that's happening in Gifu.
Oh, YouTube Ice versus no.
Oh. You're talking about Tsuji.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll say. Do they know who Tanahashi's facing at
they might not.
Wrestle Kingdom? They might not. Then we had match number 6, and this did set up something Wrestle Kingdom. Evil defeated Bolton Oleg at 11:40 with the Evil to become the new Never Openweight champion. I liked when Bolton immediately jumped Evil for the belt. It's always when he's holding up the stolen Never title belt. It's always cool when people are just fuck these guys. Basically, that's what everybody should do with the house all the time, honestly. But I don't know. I went Gentleman's Three on this. It was fine. It was nowhere near as bad as Desperado and Doki, I thought. I mean, at least they did the parade of run-ins, and they tried to fight them all off, instead of just letting one guy get fucking destroyed by the house for no reason. But they just had too many they just have too many members now, I guess is the idea. Because Yano came out, and he brought the Young Lions in to chase everybody out. So, that was in the ring at the time. But then Show comes, and then Doki comes and hits Bolton in the leg with his stupid pipe. And, it's what I didn't think this was this was better than the G1 match for sure. I mean, the crowd was into it at points too, but it definitely wasn't anything special either. And it did still kind of suck to see Bolton lose like this. But given what it was setting up, I can forgive it to a degree, because then we had this awesome moment of Aaron Wolf hitting the ring, and he started judo throwing all the house members and getting right up at Evil's face. And then he said he wants Evil for Wrestle Kingdom. So that is apparently your Aaron Wolf's first match, which, as long as they do it correctly and just have Wolf destroy this guy and win this belt on his first night and say, this is Aaron Wolf, he's arrived. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I think that's a pretty cool idea, actually. But and they can obviously, this is one case where the House of Torture bullshit will probably make sense, because you can hide how green Aaron Wolf is by having all these guys run in and just having Wolf toss him around like he did here. So it makes sense for that degree. It'll be a guaranteed reaction probably in the Dome to see Wolf mowing through these guys. So I think all that makes sense, and I think it's a rare bit of good NJPW booking lately. So
yeah,
but it just kind of sucks it kind of sucks that Bolton, with the year he's had to be the sacrifice for that. But what are you gonna do? I guess.
Yeah, because the match was, to me, it was just every Evil match, every Evil singles match since the House of Torture formed. That's the thing to me, really, is they're just the exact same every single time. So, and this was just that yet again. But I do agree that actually putting Aaron Wolf on that spot is a good idea, as long as they keep that match to sub 5 minutes. I definitely don't want Aaron Wolf in there selling for an extended period of time. I think that would be the wrong move to make. Even if he gets the win in the end, I think he should just destroy Evil. I think he should just destroy the entire house almost. I don't know if this should be the end of the House of Torture, but I mean, honestly, that might be the best way to end it, to be quite honest. When it's they kind of hear that this massive stable, and then this new guy comes in who's going to be potentially going to be the ace of the promotion, and he just comes in, and night one he just takes them out, and then they can do whatever reshuffle of factions that they want to do after that. So, but yeah, no, at first I was oh god, this shit sucks when Evil won, but then when the Wolf angle happened, I'm okay, at least there's a plan here. At least I can see the plan, that I see what you're trying to do here, and I do actually think this is a good direction to go in for once with this stable.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. We'll see if they actually disband them. I think it's kind of a believe it when I'll see it at this point. But
as with any New Japan faction.
They've disbanded a lot of factions this year, actually.
True.
I mean,
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
Chaos, just 5 guys. LIJ, kind of.
Kind of. As I sent you a picture of Bushi selling hats with the LHA logo on it.
Yeah. Then we had the match of the night. I don't even think it's close, actually. The opener was really good too, but this is definitely match of the night.
Yeah.
IWGP tag team titles. Knockout Brothers, Oscar and Yuto Ice defeat Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura in 1440. Yuto Ice pinning Yuya after the KOB. I mean, they just did fucking 15 minutes of all fucking action, balls to the wall, just fucking crazy shit here. Again, this is what I want to see out of New Japan, is literally this match. I mean, just give me guys beating the fuck out of each other, doing holds to each other. Just fucking awesome shit. Yuto Ice is like obviously such a breath of fresh air in New Japan, just to bring that straight ahead style, back to the forefront, hopefully. And, Shota looked good here. Yuya has looked amazing since the G1. And this was just an amazing match. There's this moment towards the end where Yuto gets caught in the Kimura from Yuya again. He takes the mouth guard of his match and tries to bite his way out of it. I'm like,
yes.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yes. They kind of end up rolling back to their feet, and Yuya gives him the repeated headbutts while looking for the deadbolt suplex. It looks like he's going to get it, but Oscar saves him with a sleeper from behind and then gives him the big sleeper slam. I was like, oh my God, this match fucking rules so hard. And then Oscar just holds Yuya there as Yuto punches him in the fucking face, the second or third time he did that. And the two of them hit the KOB for the pin. Amazing finish. Amazing match. It was one of those matches where there was so much action before that. I was struggling to take any notes, especially that's, it's like 6 a.m. at this point. I've been up all night. But yeah, fucking 4.5 stars. And just do this all the time, doofuses. This is all we want out of New Japan, is this fucking match. Just do this all the time. And it's incredible that the IWGP heavyweight tag scene is the best thing going in New Japan right now. Which is because their match with Taichi and Ishii at Kobe was fucking awesome too. And this is just they are breathing life into the promotion right now. That is for sure.
Yeah, no, that's such a wild, if that's a statement you make to somebody 10 years ago of them to guess hey, in 2025, what is the best part of New Japan? And I'm pretty sure they would say the heavyweight tag titles would be the last thing they would list, right? Because 10 years ago, that's when you're deep into Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, endless title reigns, basically.
Well, okay, remember that time? I'm trying to remember who it was. It was I think it was 2018 or 2017 or somewhere in there, where they ran the exact same 3-way IWGP tag title match on 3 straight shows in the fall.
Yeah.
I think it was the War Machine, Killer Elite Squad, and somebody else maybe, or I don't know. It was the same 3 fucking teams in a 3-way match in the same 3 shows. It's how fucking lazy and fucking stupid can you get? And that's it was always a fucking afterthought during the peak New Japan days, but now it's carrying the promotion. So
yeah, it's wild. But yeah, I mean, again, I love this match. This was easily the best match on the show. I went 4 1/4 on that. And yeah, I thought everybody in this match played their role really, really well. Again, Oscar as the guy that was basically he had to come and save Yuto Ice a bunch of times. Because you could just feel that Yuto to some degree still felt he was a little bit outmatched by Yuya Uemura. Right? He beat him here, but also he had some help to beat him, right? Not necessarily in a cheating way, but he had to have Oscar bail him out a couple of times, and he gave him the slam, Oscar gave Uemura the slam and everything before the finish, and he literally held him there for the finish, and again, so there's still some stuff where Yuto finally did get the pin on Uemura, but he still has to actually show that he can actually beat Uemura, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, I also thought Umino, I thought he wasn't really the main part of the story of this match, but I thought he did his parts really, really well, trying to cheer on Uemura, and also him basically I think he's trying I think he's really figuring out this whole like the faces that he actually makes now when he like basically is like, oh motherfucker, no, like you thought that was a hard hit, let me show you what a hard hit actually looks like. So I think he's actually like finding something there, as I mentioned earlier. So no, I thought this was absolutely awesome. Best match on the show. And again, it's wild that this promotion is being carried by its heavyweight tag titles of all things.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was whatever. I mean, I really hope they keep up with this, but the problem is like they don't have a big enough roster, I feel like.
Yeah.
To like keep the IWGP like who are they going to defend against next, right? Like who knows?
Well, I mean, are they even going to do a defense before like World Tag League?
Maybe Gifu, I mean.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that show's basically just a power struggle replacement. I mean, we're already seeing it's probably going to be Takeshita versus Goto and Shuji versus Tanahashi, it sounds like. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, if Umino is not getting the world title shot at the Dome, which I feel like we have to acknowledge as a possibility again.
Yeah.
I think he and Yuya probably just win Tag League and they do this again at Wrestle Kingdom, which would be fine with me.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's also like, who the fuck else is going to get the title shot at the Dome if it's not Umino?
Suji, probably.
Ugh.
He keeps talking about doing the... He keeps talking about doing like another double gold dash, basically.
You know what? I think I might have legitimately over like the last couple of months reversed my positions on Umino and Yota Tsuji, to be honest.
I still like Suji a lot. I don't really get it, but I mean, I don't know. Guess we'll see.
Yeah.
The semi-main, speaking of Suji, the IWGP Global Heavyweight title, Yota Tsuji defeated Gabe Kidd in 24-13 with a Boston Crab. So this is like a really weird one to talk about because like I didn't dislike it. I thought it was really good. It was like in between the Dominion match and the Wrestle Kingdom match to me. I mean, not Wrestle Kingdom, the New Beginning of Osaka. The New Beginning of Osaka match is one of my favorite matches of the year. I went 5 stars on it. The Dominion match I went like 3 3/4. This was like 4 flat. It was a little better than the Dominion match. It still had a lot of like aimless ringside brawling and like not much crowd heat early, which did hurt the match early. When it picked up, it still felt like oddly soulless at times. Whereas like, the New Beginning of Osaka match, that felt like 2 guys who are in there like doing this fucking like passion play about how much they love New Japan and how, they were the future of New Japan and all that. And it was like a very feel-good moment for the promotion in general. Obviously, a lot happened with Gabe since then. He now has a fucking God, why am I spacing on John Moxley's fucking stable name?
Death Riders.
Death Riders, thank you. I was going to say War Raiders. Death Riders logo on his fucking knee pad. And he just doesn't feel like the same guy. And all the New Japan stuff does feel kind of hollow. So that, the rah-rah New Japan stuff, I mean. So that obviously hurts everything. But even beyond that, though, like the work here, they did so many big moves, which, the Suji doing Canadian Destroyer is cool in a vacuum, but like it did feel more like a moves match than like a match that had like all this soul to it, like the way the New Beginning of Osaka match had. Still a very good match. They still did some cool bumps and stuff, like, Kid hitting like a very nice lariat at one point that Suji took this great flying bump for. They hit each other pretty hard at times, but it just didn't have the same impact as the New Beginning of Osaka match did. So I ended up, like I said, a 4 flat. It was better than the Dominion match. It still can't even touch the New Beginning of Osaka match. And that's kind of how I ended up with it at. Gabe, the Boston Crab felt kind of stupid more than anything after all the fucking moves they did before that. I mean, it's like they, Suji's like, should just fucking pin him with a Gene Blast, I think, especially because the second Gene Blast looked awesome. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to put you in the Boston Crab now. It just looked kind of, I don't know, just didn't really work for me. Like some of the things in this match. And again, I didn't dislike it. I still really liked it, but it did not hit on the same degree as the New Beginning of Osaka match, obviously.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I really struggled to get into this match. And again, it was noticeably less over than previous matches between them. I think Gabe Kidd is kind of like this year in New Japan. I think it's just like a cautionary tale in a way of like how to like completely derail your own momentum. Because we can't even say that like he got derailed by booking in New Japan. Or like he did this entirely to himself by like doing all of these bookings for AEW, where it's like, okay, if you want to leave for AEW next year, that's fine. I'm pretty sure most fans kind of already expected that was gonna happen either way. But like, you didn't have to do all of this stuff in AEW after you did all of the like Raw Run, like while you're also doing the Raw Run New Japan stuff. Like, you don't have to become like, is he even a member of the Death Riders? Like, I don't think he really even is. Like, I think he's just kind of like affiliated with them rather than like a full-on member. So it's like, look, Tony was gonna hire you anyway. Like, that was gonna happen anyway. Like, you didn't have to go to AEW to like have like a bunch of ultimately meaningless matches there, right? Like, it's like, because aside from like the whole like
And he always
taking a giant bump at the All In, he didn't really do that much, really.
Yeah, even the AEW fans will tell you for the most part that he does not come off like a star in AEW at all so far.
Sorry, not All In, I meant Forbidden Door. But like, it's not like he really did, like, again, like, it's not like he was like a main focus in that match otherwise. Like, he was just kind of a guy that was also there. So yeah, and again, it just completely killed any kind of momentum he had in New Japan. It completely killed his crowd connection stone dead. Because that crowd at the beginning of the year, like, I remember, like, I was like one of the like guys leading the charge of like, no, you need to put the belt on this guy like immediately, right now. Do you not hear the crowd's reaction to him? And then he just kills that one just like completely afterwards. And now he's just, well, I mean, I assume he's gonna hang around in New Japan until like Wrestle Kingdom, and then he's probably gonna leave, and like the majority of like the War Dogs are like leaving as well. So yeah, whatever. I mean, again, I assume that was gonna happen either way, but it's just, could have had much more interesting year.
I mean, it could be more this dual contract bullshit, I guess, where they call them dual contract, but obviously we never see Kevin Knight besides Best of Super Junior. He was all over the ads for the New Beginning in USA show, so I've got to mention that they ran an ad for New Beginning in USA, so they are running a New American show on February 26th in Trenton, New Jersey, which is an interesting location. I mean, that's a very cheap arena to book, I think, that Cure Insurance Arena. I know they ran. I went there for Ring of Honor a couple years ago. I'm gonna go because it's very close to me. It's like right by where my dad lives, actually, so I can just stay at my dad's house that night. But it's just it is interesting too. They didn't use the strong branding at all. They just acted like it was a New Japan show. So probably a good idea, honestly.
Yes,
the strong branding has become a little bit toxic, I think. But
the strong titles even still exist.
They do still exist. Ishii still has the men's title. Well, Saya Kamitani has the women's title now. She still carries it around with her. And I guess the tag titles are in Mexico or something. I don't know. TJP and whoever the fuck Templario had.
TJP. A great own TJP still is a New Japan champion, technically.
Yeah. But I guess we'll see. If they're not defending on that show, then I guess they are going to be dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that show is happening, and Gabe Kidd was all over the advertising for that, so maybe they have him for that date. But it was like Gabe Kidd and Takeshi that were the two big advertised wrestlers, basically. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I don't know. The big post-match angle. So Suji and Kidd basically did like a handshake, and they both did like a little thing over the top of the New Japan lion mark in the middle of the ring. Finley and the rest of the War Dogs come out after. I'm sure my first thought was they were going to turn on Kidd. Was that your first thought too?
Yeah, I thought something like that, where they're like kicking Kidd out. Yeah.
Instead, Finley offers Suji a handshake. They shake hands. Everybody in the two units basically like shakes hands and greets each other. And then they still leave separately though. So that was an interesting angle. Basically, it did pay off the tease with Suji and Finley at Kobe, which I was surprised by. I was surprised I was actually going somewhere. And basically, the idea seems to be a unit alliance for now. Not that they're all in the same unit. They did leave separately, like I said. But Hiromu said he wants to team with Gato in Junior Tag League, which is just funny. Finley said something like backstage, like he figured out that if he and Suji keep fighting, they'll destroy each other. So that's why they have to form this alliance. And yeah, the idea is the War Dogs and the unaffiliated people are in an alliance, I guess similar to the like Chaos Hantai Alliance, or the just 5 guys Hantai Alliance at one point. They're not all in the same unit yet. Like you said, we'll probably lose a bunch of War Dogs people in January, so that this could be the start of like a reshuffle where they do end up as one unit or something after the Dome. But yeah, it is interesting. I mean, you know, there was a lot of Japanese fans really excited about this on Twitter from what I saw. And these are two units really popular with hardcore fans right now. I mean, these are, you know, a lot like the hardcore Japanese, like Smark types they really love Tsuji. They really love Finley. You know, people probably noticed that Finley gets more of a reaction now at these shows than he used to. I mean, the crowd, like I mentioned this during the Kobe review, they started barking for Finley like unprompted during that match, doing like the War Dogs barking. So like Finley is like pretty popular with the hardcore fans right now. They really like the Finley Tsuji series from what I've seen on Twitter. And you know, they like Tsuji, they like the unaffiliated people in general. So like it's basically like two units that are popular with the hardcore fans like joining forces, which I think is why I saw like a lot of excitement for it. So we'll see where it goes, I guess. The other thing was Tsuji afterwards, like posed with his belt in front of Tana and then offered him a handshake. So it seems like that match is happening for the Tanahashi homecoming show in Gifu on November 2nd. That's replacing Power Struggle this year. Because for people who don't know, the Ideon Arena Osaka, the main building in Osaka they run, is currently closed for renovations. That's why they couldn't run during the G1 either. That New Beginning Osaka show earlier this year was, I think, the last show anybody ran before it closed. I don't think it reopens until late 2026, is what I heard. Pretty soon, apparently, the bigger building, or the smaller building, the Ideon 2, is also going offline. So that will happen sometime in 2026, and I guess will be for the rest of the year. But yeah, so that's but the Ideon Arena Osaka not available. That's why they're doing the Gifu show. But that will be. It sounds. We get to what's going to happen with the other title, and what Tsuji's been teasing with this double dash thing again. It sounds almost like it wouldn't surprise me if they're building to Takeshita versus Tsuji at the Dome, because that was like a big match last year, and they stayed away from it this year, so they could be doing that as the title match at Wrestle Kingdom. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the main event, because it could just be the Tanahashi retirement match, whatever that ends up being. But yeah, which if that's the direction, I don't hate it. I guess we'll have to wait and see what they do. I mean, doing another unification already would be kind of weird, I guess. But you know, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
But I mean, then again, like, what's the point of the global title at this point? Like,
really, yeah, that's a good question too.
Like, if anything, this promotion needs less titles, not more.
Yeah. The main event, the IWGP World Heavyweight Title, Konosuke Takeshita defeating Zack Sabre Jr. in 31-16 with the power drive knee. Okay. I mean, the discourse around all this is already so fucking annoying and infuriating. Like, if you still think that people online are making up the rejection of Takeshita and the idea that they might want it, like, okay, there's this the narrative already. It's basically, you know, oh, these New Japan Western fans are making up the tension between New Japan and AEW because they're playing it up because that's what they like to do, to create drama, which is being pushed by another podcast host on this network, in fact. Again, as I say all the time, you can just go on Twitter and read what Japanese people are saying. It's not that difficult. Especially these days when they fucking Twitter auto-translates the tweets for you fairly accurately now. You can just read it. It's not that hard. You know, I mean, or if you want to be like, well, social media doesn't represent, you know, the entire fan base, sure. But this show, as we talked about, did almost 900 fans less than last year. If Takeshita was this fucking hot challenger that the New Japan fans wanted to see in this position, why did the show draw so much worse than last year, first of all? Why did this show almost draw the same number as Zack versus Ren Narita in Kobe? Why did the fans not give a fuck about Takeshita coming out for this match? I mean, the crowd went
during the match.
Or during the match. For long stretches of this match had the same level of crowd as Yuri versus Sarai.
Yeah.
Which is two wrestlers who are not in the company and also two women on a otherwise all men's promotion.
In the opener.
So, like, in the opener. So like the crowd did not give a fuck about this match for the most part. Yes, they got into it to a degree towards the end, which is going to happen in any match when they reacted to near falls, but they did not fucking care about this. This match had a completely heatless start. This was not a bad match. I mean, this was, I would say, very good. I went like 3 3/4, but like, the finish was fucking dumb as fuck, I thought.
Yeah.
With Takeshita just running in, hitting the knee, and like collapsing onto the pin. It felt like a wet fart of a finish. But there was some good stuff here. It just, it didn't have any crowd heat. It went on forever. When matches have no crowd heat and go on forever, that's always a tough sell. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like the idea that like, if you really think it's a bunch of us rabble-rousers pushing a fucking narrative, like, just open your ears during this match. I don't know what else to fucking tell you. Like, we're not the ones crafting a fucking narrative here. The idea that people really want to see Takeshi in the spot over, Tsuji or Yuya or maybe even Shota at this point, those are the people crafting the narrative, because the crowd did not give a fuck and the show bombed at the gate. So like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, just you're not going to tell me I'm making a narrative up here when I can use my eyes and my ears to see what's going on, to see and hear what's going on. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I'm not even like mad at those people doing that at this point, because just, to me, you just look very stupid. And I think anyone with a clue knows that you're being very stupid. And again, it's nothing against Takeshita as a wrestler. It's nothing against, it's just, he's a fucking guy from another promotion, in Japan, in DDT, which that has as much to do with as anything with AEW, where, he's a DDT guy winning the IWGP title when the young guys in this promotion that the fans remaining want to see can't sniff the belt. And, yes, of course they're going to reject that. There's tribalism in Japanese wrestling, just like there's tribalism in American wrestling. So, it's nothing against, I don't think Takeshi's done like his best performances leading up to this. I thought his G1 this year was a lot worse than his G1 last year. But that's, again, just by his standards, where I've seen him do much better wrestling. But I don't have anything against Takeshi as a wrestler or a person. But, like, it's just not, I don't know why he's being in this position. And the booking, again, is the worst part, where, like, they can't decide if he's trying to unite the world or if he's a cocky outsider. Like, Rocky's post-match promo was like, again, back to, like, cocky outsider. And, like, if that's what they're going to do, then just fucking do it. It just feels like this is like, the Too Many Cooks thing, where like somebody wants him pushed as a face because they see a good looking young Japanese wrestler, who has this aura, I guess, with people from working in America. Some people want him pushed as a heel because that makes way more sense. And they just don't really commit to either one. And it results in this fucking confused thing where it's like, well, am I supposed to dislike this guy for being the outsider? Am I supposed to like this guy? He's saying after the match when Goto comes out to challenge him, he's like taunting the younger wrestlers and saying, where are you guys? Which, by the way, makes them look like fucking dorks. So yeah, the booking is all over the place. It's not, you don't have to take it as some insult at AEW or Tony Khan. New Japan is perfectly capable of booking their own terrible shit, as we've seen repeatedly throughout this year. So, like, it doesn't have to be New Japan versus AEW, but there's a certain type of, like, Western fan who has to make everything, even vaguely related to AEW, like a fucking referendum on, how much people love Tony Khan as a person. And it's like, I don't know, it's the most boring discourse. If you want to see people doing, like, the most low effort, boring trolling of all time, go in the New Japan channel right now in the Voice Wrestling Discord, and you'll see people doing it. So it's like, I don't know, just like, I don't know why. Like, it's all so exhausting and also boring at the same time that I barely even want to talk about it. But Takeshi's the champion now. Hopefully, he just drops the Tsuji at the Dome. I don't really know if there's anything else to say about it.
Well, John, let's play a little game, because this match is currently rated at 9.46 on Cage Match. Now, I looked up the other matches that are rated 9.46 on Cage Match. Now, obviously, if this match is like fairly rated, then, it should be something where you kind of have to think hard on like which match you actually like better. So you know what? I'm going to read you out the other matches that are rated, that have this rating. And you tell me if you like that match more or if you liked this match more. And let's see how hard you'll have to think about that. So the first match is Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat from Chi-Town Rumble.
It's a tough one, but I think I'm going to go with Flair Steamboat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the next one is Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kenny Omega from Wrestle Kingdom in 2019.
Another toughie, but I'm going to go with Tana and Omega.
Yes. Then the next one is Hiromu Takahashi versus Will Ospreay from Wrestle Kingdom in 2020.
These are just getting tougher and tougher. But yeah, Ospreay and Hiromu, I think.
Okay, how about Utami versus Shuri from the Tokyo Dream Cinderella show in 2021? That's the double KO.
You just keep giving me really tough ones, but yeah, it's Utami and Shuri.
Yeah. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart from WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, the Hart's brother battle, I think.
Yeah. And then Do Fixer versus Blood Generation from ROH in 2006. You know, the match that changed wrestling fundamentally.
Yes, that's a little. I was in the building for that. A little better.
Yeah.
I don't think the fucking cage match people. What you guys fucking suck at this point. Like, what else is there to say? This is that basically.
So Tony should have never fucking mentioned that website ever. That is 100% his fucking fault. He fucking mentioned that website on a and I get that he's a nerd, but like, man, you should have known what the fuck you're gonna do with that.
Yeah. So as always at New Japan, it's like, okay, look, I will say, like, if the directions, because again, they said Goto came out to challenge here, and before I could even really groan, Takeshita said he wanted to be before Wrestle Kingdom. So fine, if they're going to do that in Gifu, which is what it sounds like they're going to do, that's no big. And we know Takeshita will be in the country because he's booked on the 3rd in the DDT Ryogoku Ultimate Party show. It's like him and the idol Takeshi, I think, against mystery opponents. Though I don't think we know their opponents yet, unless that's changed, and I didn't see. So we know he's in the country, so that'll be one little bit. It'll be in Gifu's not that far from Tokyo anyway. So yeah, he'll be doing the Goto defense on the 2nd, and then the Ultimate Party on the 3rd. So look, it's gonna be that's a perfectly fine power struggle replacement level title match. If you have Tsuji Tanahashi on the same show, probably, and then you do Tsuji versus Takeshi at the Dome, I think that makes sense. I don't hate it. Especially as long as Takeshita wins. I mean, as long as Tsuji wins, God. If Takeshita wins, it's horrible, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, I don't hate that direction, I guess. I guess that's the most positive I can be right now about.
And I mean, I will say Goto versus Takeshita is going to be an awesome match. That's the other thing, though.
Yeah, probably.
It's definitely going to be better than whatever the fuck this was.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your Camp Pro Wrestling. I mean, look, it was a good show. It's I wouldn't say it was a great show. It was a good show. I mean, there were 3 4-star plus matches. I mean, I guess that's a great show, but it's just, there's always so much stuff here where it's like, where it's New Japan. So like in 2025, there's always enough stuff where you're like, I don't know, but
yeah, I didn't like the top 2, so I can't call this a great show. To me, the show was saved by the IWGP Women's Title match and the tag title match.
Yeah. What's coming up for New Japan? So October 19th, this coming Sunday, they're running a show in Taichi's hometown. So New Japan Road in Ishikari. So Taichi will be in the main event. It'll be the just 5 guys war, basically. There's Taichi, Yuya, and Taka against Sanada, Doki, and Kanemaru. So it's kind of a cool main event. And they also have the JTO tag match, which has the JTO tag women's tag titles, or JTO girls tag titles, with Tomoka Inaba and Rhythm taking on Azusa Inaba and Aoi. So that is kind of cool that they're getting a JTO match on this New Japan show. So, I'm definitely going to check that show out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's, I guess we'll see what else. I mean, after that Junior Tag League, which I don't think I'm going to watch that, honestly, this year. So
if you want to watch a tag league, just watch the Real World Tag League, because that actually I think has potential to be really fun.
Did they announce the other half of the teams yet?
No, but I mean, Go Shiozaki just debuted, so if they put him and Ashino together, that's a really fucking good team right there.
I'm gonna watch the Stardom Tag League for sure. I don't know if I'll watch All Japan. We'll see. not that high on All Japan right now. But Go Shiozaki showing up is interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He debuted on an All Japan show, which I did not watch, but it was the same time as the Ryogoku show. But debuting the same time as the Noah Ryogoku show is kind of funny.
And then the whole kerfuffle, whatever is happening there with the 0-1 title, which seems like that was fully like shoving like Shiozaki under the bus for that.
Yeah. But yeah, the Tanahashi Final Homecoming is November 2nd in Gifu. So that's another Sunday. That's like pretty much the last big show before the Tokyo Dome. Because then we get World Tag League, which starts November 20th. And that runs through December 14th. And then they haven't announced the road to Tokyo. I thought they did, actually. Maybe it's not on the English site. Because I could have sworn I saw the fan club emails about it. Let me see if it's on the Japanese site. The road to Tokyo Dome. Why is there another Taiji Ishimori show? Anyway.
Because the first one sold really well.
There's also Purge Night of Torture, November 19th at Korakuen Hall, the House of Purdue show. I cannot wait for that, actually. The Purdue shows are always fun. Yeah, the Road to Tokyo Dome shows are up. I don't know why they're not on the English site. It's Friday, December 19th in Gunma, Saturday the 21st in Tochigi, and Monday the 22nd in Korakuen Hall. So only one Korakuen this year. And we're still waiting for the official New Year Dash announcement. So that has not been announced yet. But yeah, so those will be the last three shows before the Tokyo Dome, probably. And then obviously January 4th. So we'll see. All right, let's move over to the Green Ring of Pro Wrestling Noah. They also had a Ryogoku show 2 days earlier that also bombed. So this was Saturday, October 11th. It did 3,617, so way down from the May show that did 4,521 with Ozawa versus Kenta. This was a little higher still than their one Ryogoku show in 2024 that had Kaito Kiyomiya versus Elhio Wagner Jr. on top. That show did 3,512, so like 100 more people than that show. But still, obviously, given all the cork and sauce and everything, not a good number for Ryogoku, obviously. So
again, that's what you get when you put a career mid-carder in the main event of your Sumo Hall show. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, probably. The opening match here was Junta Miyawaki defeating Kai Fujimura in 728 with the Sunshine Driver. So this was, a pretty solid opener here, I thought. I mean, it wasn't anything I would call like amazing or anything. Probably like Gentleman's 3 here, but, good little match. Good little basic junior opener.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also like set up like the thing for later with Junta kind of coming out and challenging Hiromu. Yeah. I kind of like what they're doing with Junta. I think they are actually trying to like make him into something now, hopefully. I know I'm just setting myself up for like Fell for It Again award here. But I do feel like maybe this will actually be the time where like he will actually, like, I think he might actually be the one to like dethrone like Hiromu at the New Year's Eve show, or not New Year's Eve, at the New Year's show.
Oh, really? I thought they'd do that before and then it would be Amakusa.
So, the thing is that they're doing a singles match, like a non-title match.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a non-title match because that's what Hiromu said was like, no, you got to beat, like, I'm going to give you a non-title match first. If you can beat me there, then I'll give you a title match. Yeah. So maybe they're doing it. I mean, maybe it's Amakusa as well, but I do feel like, I don't know. Junta still would have to be the guy because, like, who the fuck else is going to be like your homegrown like junior race? Like it's not like yes, I guess eventually it will be Daiki Odashima, but like again, that's a bit early, so it has to be Junta in the meantime.
Then we had Galeno and Harutoki defeating Manabu Soya and Yuto Kikuchi in 5:33. Harutoki pinned Kikuchi. This was just a match, I thought. It was the wacky, passionate screaming and all that, but it's just very short, like 2 3/4, really not that much to it.
Yeah, Kikuchi also announced that he's gonna like take a hiatus from Noah after this, or from wrestling. I don't remember if it was from Noah or from wrestling, actually.
Dropping like flies from Passionate Rotels.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a weird ass fucking faction. Now, it's so weird where like Soya was already a weird fit for like Rattels, but then he keeps bringing in these like weirdos who are even weirder fits for Rattel. So it's just this like, you have these like sleazy juniors, and then you have these like screaming weirdo heavyweights. It's one of the weirdest factions in wrestling right now, I would say. But I also feel like it's like coming to an end now as well. So Rattel's falling apart yet again. I'm sure they'll be back in like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. They'll put them back together. So yeah, otherwise, yeah, this match again, I think this match is kind of full of people that I'm like, I don't know, I wanted to see more from you this year, basically, in terms of development. I think Harutoki, I think he is just who he is. Like, he's just a perfectly acceptable glue guy to have on your roster. And then Galeno, like, he's in the middle of that like national title reign, but he isn't really blowing me away the same way his brother was. Like, his brother, like, when he got that national title, he just immediately just took such an obvious like next step where he just became so much better. And I don't think we've seen the same from Galeno. And I also get the feeling that he might be like leaving after this year to like join his brother in AAA. So yeah, it is what it is.
Then we had match 3, which was from WWE NXT, Charlie Dempsey and Harlem Lewis defeating Jack Morris and Oka Sasaki. Dempsey pinning Oka in 11:42 at the Regalplex. The highlight here was like there was some very solid, fast-paced mat work between Dempsey and Oka, which like the cool mat work they did was like the most interesting Oka has looked in eons for me. Like,
God, yes.
He's like just a guy most of the time, and here he at least got to do something. Harlem Lewis may as well have not even existed. I have no idea what he even did in this match. But Dempsey was good, as he was when he was in his brief All Japan stay. 3 1/4, pretty good little match here. But like I said, Harlem Lewis completely useless.
He looks like a guy that, well, I think he is like a guy that has only ever wrestled in WWE. I don't think he's even a guy. Let me look. Yeah, no, like this was literally like the matches on Noah, literally the only matches he's ever had outside of WWE. So he's just a complete system guy, and that's exactly what he looks like. Dempsey's awesome. I still hope that it's kind of mean towards him, I guess, but that I want him to be cut from the promotion that he's currently employed by. Because I think he just would be so awesome if he just went to Japan full time, whether it be Noah or like All Japan or like, I think he would do really well in New Japan as well. Like, no matter where he went. So, yeah. But at least we get him sometimes in Japan. And actually, I don't know if I ever said that. I think I told that before, right? That I saw like Charlie Dempsey after his match on All Japan when he was in Shibuya, when he was on his way to like Tower Records.
What do we want from Tower Records?
That I don't know, but
it's a cool store to go to, I guess.
Yes,
especially if you know of Tower Records. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore in America, so I don't think. Is it? Oh, maybe there's still that one in LA. Maybe I don't know.
I thought it was only a Japan thing. I didn't even know it was a thing in the US.
No. So it originally was a US chain, like a music movie chain, and it survives in Japan because they still actually care about physical media, unlike America.
Oh, so it's like a 7-Eleven kind of deal, basically.
Yeah, or like, Mr. Donut is a better example because Mr. Donut started in America and doesn't exist in America anymore, whereas it's still all over the place in Japan. So like the chain still survives in Japan. I mean, there's going to be more chains like that probably soon. Like TGI Fridays is like dying off in America, and apparently is still pretty big overseas, and it's obviously the one next to Korakuen is still there in Japan. Sizzler too is another like restaurant chain that's like basically dead in America. I think there might be a few left, but they're still there, and in Japan they're still the one in the Tokyo Dome Hotel. So, that happens with like licensing deals and stuff.
Yeah. Very weird that it specifically seems to happen with Japan a lot, though.
Yeah. Then we had Takashi Sugiura and Shun Skywalker with Ozawa defeating Tetsuya Endo and Hayata in exactly 12 minutes. Sugiura pinning Hayata with the Olympic Slam. First problem here was not getting a separate entrance with Shun Skywalker's awesome theme song. So thumbs down for that. Because I love his theme song, and he just came out with Sugiura's theme. Ozawa back out here and with 2 crutches instead of 1 now. Also kind of funny. So Shun invited Endo to stomp on the Noah logo with him before the match, which was kind of funny, I thought. He's like, "You hate Noah too, right?" But then they just kind of wrestled. They did some very fun, fast-paced exchanges, Shun and Endo. That was the big highlight of the match. Ozawa pretended to stop Shun from using his crutch on Hayata, but then just kind of like helped him use it on him, quote unquote, by accident, and then accidentally hit him with his boot as well, and that set up Sugiura hitting the Olympic Slam. So I guess the ideas are still going with this: is he really a new man now or not? Thing, but it seems pretty obvious to me he's probably still with them, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, I do think it's so over the top that
that's what I think. I think that's the joke basically. But I thought this match was pretty good, but just never got as great as I thought it would be from the hot start. So I went like 3 1/4. It was all right, pretty good match.
Yeah, no, definitely was a solid match on the undercard. I do have to say as well, like Hayata always just looks much better when he's in there with the heavyweights.
Yeah,
I think that's really the thing I've noticed this year. I think I noticed it the last year as well when I think he had like a surprisingly good match with like Jack Morris last year. And I think might be that Noah noticed as well, where it's like, hey, yeah, this guy can actually like maybe we should put him with the heavyweights, and he's kind of tall enough to like, especially Noah, make that work as well. So I think there is actually an argument to make to like move up Hayata to like heavyweight now, because that also like removes any chance of like further Hayata like junior title reigns. Yeah. And again, like his work I think just works much better because like it's a bit slower pace, which just works much better for him. So hopefully we'll get more of him as a heavyweight.
Then undoubtedly the match of the night, the GHC junior tag title match. Daga and Daiki Otoshima defeat Dragon Bay and Alpha Wolf. Daiki pinning Alpha Wolf in 15-20. They became the 64th champions. This was a failed V5 for Bane and Wolf. Just really, really fun, fast-paced action, as you'd probably expect. The big highlight was this super great stereo dive from Daga and Daiki to the outside at one point. That was awesome. Daiki, like I said, ended up getting the pin at the end with a roll-up at the end of this great finishing sequence, and Daga just like jumped into his arms on the mat. That was really cool. 4 stars for this. Great fucking match. Really the only thing I'd say you have to see on this show.
Yeah, no, this was awesome. Also, like, Daiki Otoshima is so fucking over. Like, again, he's only, like, a year in, right? Like just barely. Like, he's a year and a month. Like, he made his debut in September last year. And they're already putting a title on him, which I think shows that Noah also knows that they have something with him here. And just getting a push pretty quickly. Like, it's probably still a young boy technically, but like, again, this guy is very clearly going to be the ace of the junior division, because as amazing as he is, like he is a career junior. Like he's very small. Like he's 165 centimeters. Like he's 5'5". Like just a small,
like
small man.
Saki Kashima height, basically.
Yeah. So I also surprisingly like Daga works really well as a partner for Oroshima, because I'm always like with Daga, especially as a face. I think that's always an awkward fit for him, but like he did really, really well here. The brothers, obviously, like they're absolutely nuts as they were in this match as well. Like every single time they're in there, you just know that they're gonna do some crazy stuff. And no, I love this match as well. Yeah, to me, I went 4 1/4 on this. Just, I would agree definitely that this is the best match on the show, and I was surprised with the finish though. I did not expect that Oroshima would actually like win here, that they would put the title on him this early into his career. But yeah, massive show of faith that they know they have something here with this guy.
Then we had the Kazuyuki Fujita versus Minoru Suzuki match. What other finish do you think this had, folks? 9:39 double count out. Neither of these old motherfuckers was going to lay down for the other. Yeah. Are you kidding? I thought this match was good. I mean, this was like my second favorite match on the show. They did land a leg lock for a little bit, which is whatever. When they stood up and just like forearmed each other like two grumpy old fucks, and then switched to like the big open hand slaps. I enjoyed this for what it was. Obviously, it had no finish, but then they went back in the ring, like badmouth each other some more for the double count out, and then they just like both decided to kick the ref out of the ring and then shake hands at the end. That was kind of funny. I went like 3.5. It was good for what it was. 2 old men doing old men things, but nothing I'd say you have to watch or anything.
Yeah, I'll definitely take this over like either of them like getting the win over like a younger wrestler. So I'd rather just have these guys like wrestle each other. Neither of them is willing to drop, so it just goes to a double count out. That's fine. And again, we also got like the better version of Fujita, which is like stand-up Fujita rather than like boring mat wrestling Fujita. Yeah, where like he is just really good at this brawling stuff still. And again, if you keep it relatively short and tight as well, like that always works in his favor as well. So I definitely like this as well. And again, the finish was the most obvious finish as well. But it's just like when this got announced, I was like, yeah, there's no way. This either like somebody will interfere or cause like maybe they turn it in. Like I actually was afraid that like Team 2000X was gonna run in and they were gonna do like a like the Ultimo special where like you turn it into a tag match. But luckily we didn't get that. We just got them like do a bunch of brawling for like 9 minutes and then just get counted out. So yeah, it was fine.
Then we had Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kaito Kiyomiya defeating Naomichi Marufuji and Kano. Kaito pinning Kano at the Skywalk elbow in 10:29. So very short match here. The funniest thing was right at the start of this match, Kano broke Tanahashi's air guitar immediately to loud booing from the crowd. And then Marufuji got in the ring and threw the broken remains of the air guitar out of it, which was also pretty funny. But I mean, this match was like really nothing special. And they only went 10 minutes, like I said, and they just, it was them doing their signature spots and trying to carry it with their charisma, which they did to a degree, but like they just didn't work hard here at all. I was surprised how nothing this match was. I mean, like Gentleman's 3, it was fine, but just there wasn't anything to this, I don't think.
I mean, I thought again, but these are also like I would say 4 like really charismatic guys. I think them just doing things with their charisma, I think works quite well. Like I'm not saying this was like any kind of amazing match, but I think they did. I would actually agree with you that I think this was a bit too short. Like I think you could have actually like given them like a little bit of extra time. Although I kind of struggle to actually like if I kind of look at the like times on the show, I actually kind of struggle to see which match he actually could have cut time from.
Oh, I can think of one, the fucking main event.
It's the main event though.
Yeah, but it fucking dragged like crazy.
But you don't want your main event to go like 10 minutes either. Like that.
No, but you could give it could have been 18.
Yeah.
Could have given us 5 minutes. Yeah.
You could have, and then you could have like put this like a bit longer because again, that's really the problem I had with this match was like it just never, like as you said, like it just never got out of like second gear basically. So and then it just kind of ended. That's the problem I have with this match. But I think the work that I saw from it otherwise I think was like pretty good and I enjoyed it.
GHC junior title match, the semi-main. Hiromu Takahashi defeats Eita in 16:29 with the Avalanche time bomb to make his second successful defense. I mean, this was my big disappointment of the night. I really like both these guys, and I just thought they didn't click together at all. There was like, they did like, it was slow, and, the start was fast, then it went really slow for a while. They tried to turn it into like a big bomb throwing match after that, but like, I don't know, like there was like a lot of clunkiness too, where like Eita, his big escape from the time bomb too, where they just kind of backed up in the corner and he just kind of like went off his shoulder, looked pretty bad. And the reversals in general just looked a tad clunky. They just didn't seem like they were working well together. I don't know, just was, it didn't really click for me. It just like the end of the match too, where like Eita hits like the trauma, which is his normal finisher, and then like a one-hand arm vertebreaker that looks sick. And Hiromu just kicks out of all of it and just hits the fucking Avalanche time bomb and wins. Just, I don't know, it didn't really work for me either. I just went like 2 3/4. I don't know. Just, it was all right. But like for a match this big, I was expecting a lot more.
I mean, I will say some of the spots that they did in this were pretty sick though. I do agree that like a good chunk of this match was just a bit too meandering for me to really call it like a really good match. But I still think like that they at least were like just, I kind of like when they kind of went into bomb throwing mode a bit more because at least it was like more entertaining than what they were doing before. It's just that there wasn't really all that much like connective tissue really. Like it kind of turned into a bit of a spot fest where it's just like, yeah, let's just like drop each other on our necks essentially is what this turned into, which to be fair, I will say that is still quite sick to see because some of those bombs were really nasty. Like, you know what, in a weird way I would compare this match to?
What?
The Shuji Ishikawa Nagata Triple Crown match. I know if you remember that one from All Japan.
Vaguely.
It was basically like the two of them just going in there, just hitting each other with like insane moves, and then just kind of lying there on the mat trying to like regain their like composure, and then just going back up, then coming back up and just dropping each other on the necks again. And in a weird way, despite the fact that these guys are obviously way younger and shouldn't have that kind of match, like that felt in a way like almost similar to that. Like at least like in the back half of the match. But again, like that just wasn't enough there to really call it great. But I think I liked it a bit more than you did.
The main event, Kenta successfully defends the GHC heavyweight title against Masa Kitamiya in 23-34. Hits the go to sleep for the pin, makes his second defense. I mean, I don't know. This was like so fucking boring, I thought. Just Kenta like methodically beating on Masa for a while in a not very interesting way, especially at the start, which I was just like, isn't this Masa character supposed to be kind of an ass kicker? Like, why is he just getting his ass kicked? Then we had the ref getting bumped, and Kenta got beat up on the floor by Yoshitatsu and Tadasuke. So we had the House of Team 2000X bullshit. Just very slow-paced and boring. Then eventually, like, Yoshiki and Amura is just hanging out at ringside in a cowboy hat. Okay, then. Kitamiya gets in his face first, and then Kenta pushes them into each other and gets in his face as well. The action got a little better when Kenta and Masa got back in the ring, but then we were right back to both guys down, nothing happening again. Then Team 2000X got involved again. Inamura came in to make the save for whatever reason. I got what they were going for with him, but I thought putting his cowboy hat back on and everything, he came off like a goofball, which I don't think he's supposed to be what he's supposed to be, obviously, but that's how he came off to me. Kenta, like, so he goes to go to sleep. Masa, like, kind of awkwardly catches him. It's such a slow counter. It doesn't really look like anything. He hits a headbutt and a pile driver for a 2 count. Kenta does go to sleep on the second try. He takes so long to pin him that Masa kicks out. And the sparse crowd here was at least chanting for him. So, you know, they did get the crowd finally, but I was still not very that into it. Kenta, the best part of the match was probably the next part, where Kenta hit some nice overhead slaps, a trio of buzzsaw kicks to the head that looked quite brutal. Kitamiya got back up laughing, only to get slapped back down, and he ate a go to sleep, and that finally got the pin. So once again, Masa Kitamiya cannot win the big one. But, you know, the very end was cool.
As he shouldn't.
The very end was cool. The rest of this match was so slow and so boring. I still ended up going 2.5 on it. I mean, I thought this was a very nothing main event for a big show. It was either goofy or boring throughout until the end of it. So, you know, I didn't like it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the thing is, like, I just do not think Masa Kitamiya has it. I just do not think, I think really early in his career, I did think maybe he could be a main eventer, but then he was just incredibly myopic very often, right? Where very often he would have an amazing match, and then like immediately afterwards he'd have like the most boring singles match you've ever seen. And he's gotten a bit better about that through the years, and I think especially his tag work, I think, is pretty damn great. But I do not think Masa Kitamiya is like a main eventer in any way. Like, he's a guy you can put in a GHC heavyweight title match. Like, I'm not saying you can't have him as a title challenger, but not like...
Boy, do they always have him as a title challenger.
Yeah, but like not at this level of a show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not on a Sumo Hall show. He is the quintessential Korakuen Hall title challenger, is what he is. That's Yokohama where he should
Buntai.
be. Yokohama Buntai, yeah. Exactly. Like that's the kind of level of building, or like, I don't know, like Edion Arena, right? Like maybe not, you know, the big one, but the small one.
Yeah,
not the small one, like, for example, right? Like that's the level of show Masa Kitamiya should be challenged in title on, not at a Sumo Hall show. And I think this just kind of showed it as well. The draw of the show showed that as well. And the match, again, like I said, he's just too up and down. Like, you can't rely on him consistently in big singles matches to deliver. He might deliver, but it's also like I would say, like, it's about 75-25, right? Like 75% of the time he will deliver, but then 25% of the time you get something like this, which just doesn't work at all, and his work is just really like uninspiring overall. And I also, again, I didn't understand why Kenta was like dominating him so much. Like, this match structure would have actually worked. Like, what it feels like is that Ozawa was supposed to be in this match, and they didn't just, like, they obviously had to pivot after he got injured, and they put Masa here instead. But then they didn't adjust the match structure at all. Like, they basically gave it the Ozawa match, which doesn't work with Masa Kitamiya. Like, you can't have Kenta, like, dominate Masa Kitamiya for half the match and still have that work. So, yeah, I thought this was kind of a dud as a main event.
Afterwards, Inamura comes back in his goofy cowboy hat and congratulates him in English. He challenges Kenta for the title, and that will happen on November 8th at Korakuen. He says he doesn't like dirty fights, so we'll give him a fair and square fight. So I guess we'll see if that's leading to a swerve or not. Kenta like kind of made fun of him, which the crowd was laughing about. So I don't know if that's what you really want for, the big return angle here. But he was basically saying like, you're acting like you're the big American. I've lived in America for 10 years, buddy. Which I thought was funny. But then Kitamiya like lifted Kenta off his feet like he was going to slam him, and then gave him a hug in a handshake instead, which I thought was kind of funny. But so that match will be November 8th at Korakuen. They have another Korakuen before that, which I'll get to in a sec. But yeah, the title match itself is next month, November 8th at Korakuen. But yeah, overall, I just didn't like this show. I mean, the sparse crowd did not help the overall feel to it. Nothing really delivered except the junior tag, or to a lesser extent, Suzuki Fujita. So, not a good show.
Yeah, for me, I will say, I think this show and King of Pro Wrestling, I think, are actually quite close to me. I think King of Pro Wrestling I would put slightly ahead, but again, like I said, the top two at King of Pro Wrestling didn't work at all for me. So, yeah, like I said, the junior tag title match is the only one you really need to go out the way to see on the show. And then otherwise, I thought most of the other matches were like somewhat uninspiring, but solid overall. Like, I wouldn't call it a bad show, but it's also not like, I think Noah has definitely produced much better shows. Like, for example, like the Sumo Hall, like the other Sumo Hall show this year. Like, if you want to watch a Noah Sumo Hall show, like, go watch that one instead.
Thursday, yeah, the show was way better. Thursday the 16th so this coming Thursday is their next Korakuen. There is some interesting stuff on the show. So the main event is Kenta and Tetsuya Endo against Inamura and Harlem Lewis. That's not, I mean, Lewis is such a nothing, like I said, that I'm not really looking forward to that match, really. But we'll see what Inamura looks like. It's obviously your hype match for the Kenta Inamura title match. We have Galeno versus Dragon Bane for the GHC national title. Kaito Kiyomiya versus Charlie Dempsey. That could be good. That's interesting. The Hiromu versus Juta non-title match that Hiromu's making Juta jump through that hoop before he'll face him. And I guess Yuto Kikuchi's goodbye match for now when he's facing Manabu Soya one-on-one. So, yeah, there's also some random tags, but those are like your big things from that show. So, not a terrible card there, I guess. I guess we'll see what that's like on Thursday.
I do feel like they might not draw. I don't think it's a bad card, but it's like, I don't know how well that card is going to like draw.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. All right, so let's move over to Stardom now. So they had a Korakuen Hall show this past Saturday, October 11th. It did 1,376, which for a nothing card like this, with a tag title match on top and like a CMLL Japan Women's title semi-main, that's pretty fucking good, actually. So, definitely doubt they were complaining about that crowd being, it wasn't a good crowd from a crowd heat standpoint. Weirdly, it was probably one of the weaker crowds of the year from that standpoint. There have been smaller crowds that made more noise than this one, so that did hurt the show to a degree, but the number was good. The opener was Starlight Kid and Miyu Amasaki defeating Hanako and Rion in 9:38. Starlight Kid pitting Rion with the Moonlight Press, or Moonsault Press, I should say. There was like a really kind of funny moment towards the start where she was like comically pounding on the obviously much larger Hanako to get her let go of Miyu. That was amusing. And then Hanako at one point just picked Rion up and used her as a battering ram on Starlight Kid, which is also kind of funny. But yeah, little fast-paced, enjoyable little opener, 3 1/4. Enjoyed the match.
Yeah, no, I can just fully agree with that. It was just a really good opener. I was a little surprised they put Starlight Kid in the opener here, though.
Well, they like putting, so the first 2 matches air on YouTube on Free, so they always like putting a big star in one of the first 2 matches. That's the same reason why Saya wrestles like random openers sometimes when she's not in a big match.
Yeah. Makes sense.
After the match, Konami came out with a bouquet of white roses, just like Starlight Kid's been doing with the white roses. She attacked Starlight Kid with them instead of giving it to her, and she challenged her for the white belt on November 3rd at Oda Ward, and then handed her one of the flowers. So that'll be an interesting one, because Starlight Kid, they already beat her earlier in the year, all the way back in February in Tochigi. So I don't know if she's going to beat her a second time or if they're finally going to do the title change here. She's had this belt since the end of December. Is it time to move Starlight Kid on to bigger and better things? I'm not really sure. This show, by the way, was her actual 10th anniversary of wrestling, which is kind of crazy that she's already been doing this for 10 years. She has the 10th anniversary show coming up on the 20th, I think. The 20th of October. It's definitely a Monday. So I think it is the 20th, a week from today. But yeah, that show is a pay-per-view, so you don't have to pay money for that one. But that's it's from Shinjuku Face. I think it's been sold out forever now. And it's her and teaming up with El Desperado and Dragon Kid, the Ki-chan family, because the show is Ki-chan Family in Danger, ? Which I think is kind of funny. But yeah, the 3 of them are teaming up. So far, we know their opponents are Shingo Takagi and God, I don't have it in front of me. I'm trying to remember who it was. The other one is it's like one of the older Joshi, but now I can't remember who the fuck it was. I think it's Kyoko Inoue. I think it's Kyoko Inoue. I think it's Shingo and Kyoko Inoue. I think it's who we have so far.
If I had a nickel for like every time somebody in the last 7 days got attacked with flowers, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
But yeah, Shingo and Kyoko Inoue, and then a third mystery part that, to my knowledge, hasn't been announced yet. So, but yeah, that'll be interesting. That's her actual 10th anniversary show. That's next week. Match number 2 here. The interesting team of Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, Saki Kaishima, and Kikyo Furusawa end up defeating the Mivi Loka team of Rina Yamashita, Itsuka Aoki, Bozilla, and Akira Kuragane in 9:58 when Bozilla got counted out. So the current story they're going with is like Saki is like very infatuated with Sayaka or something. Like she has like a girl crush on her, and she was like, I guess weirdly into all 3 of them or something, because she was like sniffing their hair when she called them over. It was like, very strange. What the fuck is happening? And like they all reacted like, what is going on here? And Kikyo especially did not like that. She's kind of like visibly recoiled from it, which I thought was funny. And then they're still pushing this odd Bozilla Saki thing where Bozilla like charged in the corner and killed her immediately. Saki later on only wanted to tag in when she thought she could maybe steal a pin on Aoki when she was down, only to immediately try to tag out again. That was funny. Bozilla tagged in against her. Saki hit like one eye rake on her, immediately tagged in Sayaka. Sayaka went all fiery babyface on her, and she managed to like turn her around against the ropes and was like forearming in the chest. And she's such a good fiery babyface, so that was good. She couldn't really get anywhere though, and Bozilla like wiped her out with a lariat, and she did the Shoten Kai of all things, and that got a 2 count. Saki actually came in to try to protect Sayaka, and the 2 of them low bridged Bozilla to the floor, but then Bozilla caught her trying to dive to the outside, slammed her to the floor, carried her up to the oranges. She was like beating on her some more before tossing her through a door. But then the faces all teamed up to keep her from getting back in the ring, and Sayaka speared her off the apron, and that got them the count-out win. Finish was a little goofy, but it was fine. It was kind of amusing, 3 stars. After the match, though, Bozilla went berserk. She beat up her own teammates. She went to powerbomb Sayaka, but Saki saved her beloved. And then Bozilla was like, basically said if she's willing to do anything to save her, she should agree to a singles match to face her. Bozilla was like encouraging the crowd to say yes. Saki basically asked Sayaka, like, what is she saying? And Sayaka like says back in Japanese, like, I don't know what she's saying, but it's best just to say yes. And Sayaka's like, yes. But then she's like, wait, no, singles match. No match. No matching. That was so fucking funny. Like, Saki's like losing her mind at that point when she realized what she agreed to. It's like, no matching. But Mozilla apparently said it's done and it's happening. And then she said Sayaka's the next one on her kill list. So, Mozilla, very scary. But there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I've always I think Bozella just works so well in Japan. Like, I get why she probably will eventually go. Yeah, I get why she will eventually go to the US or whatever, because that's where the money is. But man, you just watch her here and she just towers over everybody. Like, it just works so well for her to just toss everybody around like she did in the post match here. I thought I thought the match itself was fine, but for me the highlight really was the post match when she just came in and just destroyed everybody. I think that is just what she's just best at by far.
Yeah. Then we have the next match was a 3-way match that went really quick. Waka Tsukiyama pinning May Sierra in a 3-way that also involved Emma Mashima in only 34 seconds with her little suplex underhook flash pin thing. The funniest part of this was the camera goes to Waka after that, and even she looks shocked.
Yeah.
I took this great screenshot of her just looking at the camera, looking very confused with the giant winter banner underneath her face. So fucking funny.
Holding up the fingers wait, what do you mean that was a free count?
May gives her a German suplex afterwards. You went to shake her hand. You can't trust the little gremlin, I guess. But yeah, this was not really a match, but it was very funny.
I missed the entire match because the match starts, I get distracted by something, and then I hear the ding ding. I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean the match is already over?
So yeah, there's your next high-speed title match officially. 12-woman tag after that. The Hate team of Saya Kamatani, Konami, Rina, the Fukigen, Momo Watanabe, and Azusa Inaba defeating the combined Stars and Cosmic Angels team. So it was Saya Ida, Momo Kogo, and Yurihime from Stars, and Natsupoi, Surya Ano, and Yuna Mizumori from Cosmic Angels. So Konami pinned Ida in 10:58, or she beat her with the choke sleeper, actually. So submission match. Very fun, very fast paced. I wish this got more time. But Momo basically hit Saya Ida with her bat, and Konami choked her out for the win. 3.25-star match, and still no sign of anyone turning on anyone here. Saya just briefly raised both her belts in Momo Watanabe's face after the match, but nothing else happened. So,
yeah, I have to say though, I mean, again, it was a good match, but I was definitely feeling it because I watched the Marigold show and King of Pro Wrestling, and then I also watched this show today. So at this point, I'm into our 9 or whatever of wrestling, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I again, it was a good match, but I was definitely feeling the drag a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was when I was looking at it, I was I can recognize that I see really good wrestling happening, but man, is it getting hard for me to get invested right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Then we had the 6-woman tag, which was building up to the IWGP Women's title match we already talked about. It was Shiori Hina and Rana Yagami defeating Sari, Chi-Chi, and Miku Kane. Shiori pinned Miku in 10:27. This was I talked about earlier, this didn't have any crowd heat at all, which, again, to be fair, the crowd was kind of not great all night long. But I do think a lot of it is because the Stardom fans have been so browbeat by the press and by the older wrestlers in Joshi on Twitter and social media and stuff for booing Sari, that's almost well, you don't want us to boo, we're just not going to make any reaction. I feel was the reaction. There was still some scattered boos for her in at the Ryogoku show, but yeah, I don't know, this felt like the Sari thing kind of peaked, basically, was the feeling. Chi-Chi and Hina beat the absolute fuck out of each other at the start of the match. That was cool. Other than that, though, I thought it was really nothing special, like a gentlewoman's 3, I guess, 3-star match here. So,
yeah, as I said, this was definitely hurt by the crowd being really quiet for this.
Yeah.
Again, to be honest, like I am trying to like keep up with Stardom, but I wasn't following, like, for example, like the Cerie story that closely, like that she actually got like all of the like backlash on social media and everything. So I didn't know that that's, for example, was like the reason why most likely like the crowd didn't really make any noise here. So I was just kind of weirded out by like what I thought were like, you know, building up for like a really big match and everything, and then just getting kind of no reaction. And now that makes a lot more sense. But definitely, like, as I was watching the match, I was like, it definitely hurt my enjoyment of the match itself, because again, they basically wrestled in silence for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Then we had the semi-main, which was Hazuki defeating Koguma in 22-12 with the vertical drop brainbuster. So Koguma fails in her fence defense, and Hazuki becomes the very prestigious 7th CML Japan Women's Champion. It was interesting seeing Koguma just wrestle completely seriously. I mean, we've seen it from her before. But it's always interesting when she does it. And, you know, no bear magic, just, you know, doing these big, powerful overhand chop on Hazuki in the corner, and earned her a Mo Ikai, like one more time chant from the crowd, which is cool. I thought this was, again, very good match. It never quite got to the next level for me. I was like 3 3/4 on it. You know, the crowd that, again, not being super hot in the show kind of hurt it too, but they did get into it at the end with like a big Koguma chant, which was cool. It's just, these are not two of my favorites in Stardom either. I know a lot of people love both, especially Hazuki, so I'm sure some people had this higher than I did, but I still thought it was very good. So still the match of the night, you know, 3 3/4, still a very good match, but you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, this was by far the match of the night for me as well. I just loved the action in the match as well. I thought both worked it really well. And as you said, like they kind of had to overcome the crowd malaise in a way, but I think they did that really, really well. Because I think a lot of wrestlers, like especially like sometimes can get like really discouraged from the crowd not being into it, right? But I think these two really didn't let themselves get down from that, and then they kind of like wrestled so well that like they forced the crowds back into the match. I think it's the best way of describing it. And then by the end of the match, I think they, like, this was the hottest the crowd was all night. I felt like was by the end of this match essentially, and I think it helped the next match a little bit as well, because like I don't think the next match really managed to keep the crowd like energy that like the end of this match had, but I feel like the energy would have been even lower if this match hadn't come before it.
The main event, the Gods of Stardom tag titles, BMI 2000, Natsuko Tora and Uraka defeating the Reiwa Tokyo Towers, Amy Sourei and Lady C in 1932. It was Tora hitting the Swanton, I believe, on Ami. It doesn't have it listed here on her for the pin. But yeah, this was you know, this was pretty good. Just kind of underwhelming for a Stardom Korakuen main event, especially this year. You know, we got the usual hate outside brawling. There was a funny spot where like Raka always tries that, you know, look over here thing, and Ami not only didn't fall for it, she just like calmly punched her in the face. That was funny. But yeah, this was like, again, the bad old days of Stardom crowds before, you know, really this year and like later last year got into it, where like the crowd was, you know, much more just much more quiet than you'd like for a main event title match here. Tora did end up missing Ami. She kind of fought back anyway, though, and the image of like the blue-faced Ami Sourei hitting this big double lariat on both heels was both kind of funny and kind of badass at the same time. But Tora broke the chair over her head, and with the ref distracted by Rina, and Tora then hits the Swanton on her for the pin. You know, like I said, 3 1/4. Just I feel like at this point, if anything, given how good Tora was at the 5-star, it almost feels like this team and Raka is like holding her back more than anything at this point. So I don't know. Like Raka still doesn't do a lot for me. So that match was pretty good. Like I said, 3 1/4, just kind of a nothing Korakuen main, and a down Korakuen for them overall. So
yeah, for sure. Like I said, this basically was like the last match that I watched for like this recording, and yeah, like just like the crowd, the last match kind of got me like invested again, and then this match kind of like I tried really hard and I tried to keep up the same level, but just like the crowd, I wasn't able to. And I just, again, it was a fine match. I was recognizing that I was watching good wrestling in front of me, but I just was just basically just kind of like, yeah, I guess this was fine, which is what I come down on with this match ultimately, where I was just like, yeah, that sure was a match that happened. That was a title match that was perfectly acceptable.
The after the main event, so Rina Yamashita and Itsuki Aoki from Mivita Loca came out to challenge for the tag belts. I don't think we have a date for that yet. I could be wrong. And then we have Mayumi Ozaki showing up to promote that ongoing feud with Hate, because they're having the big show in Oz Academy October 19th, so this coming Sunday at Yokohama Budokan. So that show that has the 6-woman tag, which is, or no, is it 6-on-5 handicap? I don't know, because I see 11 people on this graphic. But either way, it's Hate versus the reunited reunited Oz Academy Sekigun, or what the fuck they call it again, and including Seriano back on that team. And the gimmick is that if the Oz Academy team loses to Hate, the Hate team is Tora, Raka, Sai Kamatani, Momo Watanabe, Konami, and Rina. If they lose, then Mayumi Ozaki has to become a like the lowest ranked Hate member, basically.
Ooh.
So they just to join as the lowest ranked member of Hate. So, and I think Tora said something like, "I'm going to have you like shining our boots after we beat you" or something. So, there you go. But yeah,
so they're obviously going to win then.
I mean, yeah, they're going to win.
Yeah, I feel like if that's the stipulation, then they're obviously going to win.
Yeah. So that's October 19th. So that's next Sunday in Oz Academy. So that's what they were promoting here. But yeah, like I said, kind of a down Korakuen for them. Not really that big of a show or anything. So what are you going to do? They can't all be zingers, I guess.
No.
The coming up for Stardom, we have we really have no cards for anything. So but it's mostly like a bunch of house show stuff. There's another New Blood show, the second of 3, on Friday the 17th. There's the Starlight Kid thing that I talked about on the 20th. And then their next Korakuen is the 27th, October 27th. I don't think, do we have anything for that show yet? I don't think so. There's nothing on the website, at least. They might have announced something, but they didn't say it. And yeah, then the 30th is the last New Blood show of the 3 this month. And then November 1st is their big, November 3rd, I should say, is their big Oda War Gym show, Crimson Nightmare, which that obviously has the Saya versus Momo World of Stardom title match, and I believe it's also for the Strong Women's title too. And we also have now, I think, the Wonder title match with Konami against Konami challenging Starlight Kid. If that's not official, it's obviously happening, but I think it might even be official at this point. So, yeah.
What do you think the main event of the Sumo Hall show is going to be?
I don't know. So they started sort of teasing Poi and Sai again over the weekend, which I hadn't even thought of as a possibility, but they were like getting up in each other's face, and Poi was tweeting all this stuff about how she can't forget about the red belt after all. So I don't know if they're going to go back to that, but for the first time, that's the first time I've even seen that tease in a while. So it did make me think. I don't know. I mean, they could also do, if Starlight Kid's losing the Wonder, the white belt, it could be Starlight Kid challenging Saya, which that match was supposed to happen all the way back in Okinawa when they were both champions, which I guess they still are. But yeah, when there was supposed to be like a champion versus champion match that never happened because of Starlight Kid's injury earlier this year, and they never went back to it. So I guess that could also be the main event. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. I really don't have a good feel for it. So it's one of these things where they have such a deep promotion. I feel like there's a million ways they could go.
Yeah. So. Again, that's why they're kind of the hottest promotion in the world right now.
Yeah. So
even if this wasn't a good show.
No, not really. But then we had the last show I want to talk about here, because it's another promotion I always say we should do more, but at least trying to do their monthly Korakuens. So the Dragongate Korakuen, October 8th, the Gate of Victory in Tokyo, the last promotion we're going to talk about today. First of all, I want to say I always really appreciate the pre-show stuff from Jay on English commentary, catching me up. I never have time to watch the smaller Dragongate shows that make air. It's just not, there's just so many hours in the day. But like for instance, I had no idea that like everyone in Mochizuki Dojo graduated and the units no more.
Yes.
I kind of guessed that explained why they were no longer in the opening. I was like, huh. And then they were, Jay explained it in the actual in the his pre-match spiel. But the show opened here with Ryo Fuda and Daiki Yanaguchi, two of the former Mochizuki Dojo guys, defeating Mochizuki Jr. and Akihiro Sahara. Actually, all of these were Mochizuki Dojo alum.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So Yanaguchi pinned Sahara and 801 with the hollow. It was like this weird. It's like this weird head scissors thing that I don't think looked that impressive. But yeah, I don't know. This match was like all right, other than Mochi Jr., who I think everyone who even like kind of paid attention to Dragongate already knows is really good. Yeah. I didn't think any of the other three stood out here. So, for 2 3/4, just kind of there.
Yeah. I think Fuda generally, is a guy I think that could develop into something. But yeah, just Mochizuki Jr. was just so far and away the best guy in this match. Yeah, and I just really hope, I think he's long overdue for like a serious push because he's fucking amazing. And I think he should, again, if Dragongate is like, I know that they can be kind of like weird with the pusher sometimes, but like, look, this guy is ready. Like he needs to be like either leading a unit or be like the second in a unit, and he should be like challenging for like serious belts.
Match 2 was Yamato, Dragon Kid, BB Hulk, and Naruki Doi, defeating Masaki Mochizuki, Don Fuji, Takashi, and Punch Tominaga. Hulk pinned Tominaga at 8:44 at the first flash. Total nothing match here. Everybody on their team was just comedy, basically. Everybody on their team beat up Punch. Yeah, then Hulk pinned him. 2 1/4, not very good.
Yeah, no, just
get the veterans on the card.
Yeah, exactly. That's quite literally what it was. It's just literally just a waste of my time, basically. If I wanted to see Takashi waste my time, I would again, I already watch enough All Japan undercards where he already is doing that. I don't need that in another promotion. Despite the fact I get that this is technically his own promotion, but that doesn't make it any better.
Match 3, we had D Courage, Yuki Yoshioka, Dragon Daya, and Ryoya Tanaka defeating Natural Vibes, Susumu Yokosuka. I'm not Susumu, sorry. Strong Machine, no longer Susumu Yokosuka. Strong Machine J, KZ, and UT. Dragon Daya pinned UT in 5:57 with the DDDDT. Might have said too many Ds there. This was more like it. Super short, but very fast paced, all action like you'd hope to see from a Dragongate undercard 6-man. And Daya pinned UT with that leaping DDT of his, just as they were doing his partners doing stereo dives to the floor, moments before that. So fun while it lasted, 3 1/4. Enjoyed this.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed the match overall as well. Was really fun. Dragon Daya also a nice guy. I actually had a quick chat with him when he was at WXW. Seems like a good kid. I enjoyed the match as well. I think this was a classical, Dragongate kind of all action 6-man tag match that I think this promotion just really, really fucking good at. I do have to say though, I know that I'm not really following Dragongate all that regularly anymore, but man, Natural Vibes just feels real long in the tooth. Just it's I get that they technically took a break, but when did they form originally? In 2019, 2017, 2018, or something like that.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for Dragongate, who likes to rotate its faction around.
They do.
Very often.
Even rebranding, like we saw with Love and Peace just now. So
yeah. And again, Natural Vibes originally was supposed to be the vehicle to for Casey in the main event, right? And Casey's not a main eventer anymore, so why are these guys still here?
Yeah. Tag match, Susumu Yokosuka and Kagetora defeating Kota Minoura and Jason Lee. Susumu pinned Jason Lee at 11:50 with the Jumbo no Kachi. This was a weird one. It's the early part was so slow and clunky, especially for a Dragongate undercard match. But the end of it was really, really exciting. Your typical, very good Dragongate closing stretch. So guys just flying around and trading moves. But it's so short that I can't go higher than like 3.5. But the end of it was really good.
Yeah. I think especially at the end, it's like, man, Sumayu Kosuka is still so fucking good though. Like I think he's still like underrated in a way. Like I think he's slowed down a little bit.
How old is he?
He's like in his late 40s.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say he has to be pretty fucking old. Yeah, 47. Wow.
Yeah.
He's one of these guys that's looked exactly the same for like 15 years.
Yes, I think that's really helped him, yeah, because he's looked 40 when he was 30, and now that he's nearly 50, he still looks 40.
Yeah. But yeah, there were some really cool bumps towards the end too. Like there was this before even the one that got the pin, there was this big Jumbo no Kachi from Susumu. Which was
yeah, that especially what I wanted to mention.
Yeah, he took this big, huge flip bump for that was awesome. So, but yeah, so very good match. Just I wish it wasn't so boring early on, otherwise I would have gone even higher. The next match, so this is the one where I felt like I had the biggest disconnect with the Open the Voice Gate guys when I heard them talking about this show. This was the team of Luis Mante, Fight Panther Jr., and Arrow Panther beating the Love and Peace trio of Hyo, Jackie Kame, and Rita. It was Arrow Panther pitting Jackie and 948 the Panther Splash. I don't know. I thought this was like, again, slow and boring early, not that much going on. It picked up later, but I still didn't like it quite as much as the last match. And like, I don't know, there was like, when Kame gave like one of the luchadors a top rope Rana into like this whole pile of guys fighting on the outside, or fighting in the middle of the ring, I should say, I thought this looked a little goofier than I thought it looked cool. But yeah, I don't know. Just I thought it was like a total nothing, actually kind of a bit disjointed match. I just wasn't a fan at all. And I know that the Dragon Gate fans like the Love and Peace guys a lot, like the hardcore Dragon Gate fans. I just find them to be like among the Dragon Gate younger guys that I find kind of overrated. I mean, I just never, these three just like Rita less than the other two. But like, I never really understand what they're talking about when it comes to Hyo and Jackie. I mean, they never really do much anything for me.
I mean, with Jackie, at least I will say, like, Jackie has had flashes where I'm like, oh yeah, no, like, this guy could be amazing, but I don't think he's ever been, like, consistently showing it enough for me. Like, right, because Jack, like, remember, like, I don't know if you watched that one in, like, 2022, the, like, amazing, like, match he had at, like, Kobe World, which was, like, him and Jason Lee versus Shun Skywalker, and at that time still Diamante. Like that was a genuinely amazing match, but like I don't think ever since then, like he's fine whenever I see him, but it's never like gotten to that level ever again for me. And the Panthers, I'm like, I don't know, they seem a bit sloppy. It's like for me, like that's kind of how they came. Like I guess, like again, that they haven't wrestled that much in Japan, so I guess there's still like potential for them to improve, but like, yeah, I thought this match was fine, but I didn't think it was like anything amazing. Yeah. And Luis Mante for me is always a guy I'm like, I always think I will enjoy more than I actually do ever since he like turned into Luis Mante.
Yeah. But yeah, I went 2.5 on this. I don't think I get my rating. I just didn't, I don't know, I just wasn't into this. After this match, we got the unit lineup for the 2025 Gate of Nostalgia. I think the second one of the year, actually, from Shinjuku Face on November 17th. What a weird lineup this was. Deep Drunkers, Strong Machine Army, RED, Masquerade, Maximum, Jimmy's, and Mad Blanky. Like this weird mix of like a couple legendary ones and some that don't feel very important at all.
Some factions that were like killed really quickly because they didn't work at all.
But I guess it's kind of cool they're mining recent history too, I guess. But like, I don't know, it's just a little bit weird. But
I mean, I'm an all in favor of like Jimmy's and Matt Blackie coming back, and RED I joined well enough as well. The other ones I'm like, really? Masquerade, the faction that failed so hard you had to turn Skywalker heel?
Yeah, it was very strange. The semi-main, this is where now this show just gets awesome. Gaja Dokuro, Kai Ishin, and Yoshiki Kato defeated Shun Skywalker, Homare, and Kazuka Kimura in 12-20, Ishin pinning Kimura with the death penalty. This match I seem to have liked even more than the Dragon Gate fans liked. This, I think, even for a match that only went 12.5 minutes, this is probably my favorite Dragon Gate match of the year now, even above the And again, I don't watch as much as some people, but I like this slightly more than the Shun Skywalker Yamato Kobe World Main that I would have said is my favorite Dragon Gate match before this, which I gave them the same rating. But this was fucking incredible. I mean, just nonstop fucking action. And the young boy, the whole story here, if people don't know, was Shun and Homare wanted to challenge the Gaja team for these titles, and they said they didn't even need a third person. They tried to do it without one, and Ryo Saito was like, "You can't do that." So the two of them then were like, they just picked the youngest, greatest boy they could find at ringside, and said, "You're our partner then." And Kimura, so he just dives at Ishin during the ring intros for the champs. That was awesome, and that was just really cool start. And then he there's this big wild brawl around ringside. It was almost like Shun and Homare's attitude was rubbing off on him. And, I talked about guys I find overhyped by the DG hardcores, the young guys. Homare is the opposite. Homare is the real fucking deal. I mean, This guy is, for a guy who's 1 year into his career, if people don't watch Dragon Gate, this guy is like one of the best young male wrestlers in the world right now. I mean, this guy is fucking incredible. So he's just, just the stuff he did in this match, the quote unquote psychic teamwork spots with Shun were just incredible looking. It was guys just flying around the ring, in and out of it so fast. It's like impossible to even do play by play. And then Kimura at one point just gets Kato down this really nice armbar takedown. He turns it into a triangle, just very strong mat wrestling out of this kid who's like, I think, 3 months into his career. Yeah. Minoru and Lee try to run in to break it up. Homare and Shun make the save. Homare then hits Kato with a chair while he's in the hole, which I love that spot. He's like, you know what? I'm still an asshole. I'm just going to use this chair on you. Kato struggled in the hole for quite a while before Ishin was finally able to push him and Shun into them to break up the hold. Incredible sequence. Kimura gets Ishin with the same armbar under a triangle. He tries to powerbomb his way out. Kimura just gets the armbar right back on, and the crowd is going completely insane for this in a way you rarely hear out of modern Dragon Gate crowds, honestly. And Ishin has a chance to pin Kimura after that, but then just pulls him back up just to put him in the death penalty choke, and the ref finally stops it. I went 4.5 on this. I thought this match was fucking incredible. Really, really, really awesome. And just if you only watch one match from the show, I mean, I like the main event a lot too, but this match was the match of the night, and just a must-watch match.
I don't think I get quite that high, but it was still like a 4-star match for me. I thought this was fucking amazing. I think Ishin, was really great here too. Where I think Kimura diving on him, he was like, and I took that personally, and then it just proceeded to beat the shit out of Kimura. So no, I thought this was pretty damn great. I think again, Homare, just to point out to people that don't know anything about Dragon Gate or don't watch it at all. Dragon Gate put him in the heel unit after his debut match, on the same show. He basically, after his debut match, he immediately joined the heel unit, which I think that shows, that the promotion also immediately just realized, oh, no. Before he even made his debut, they realized, oh, no, we have a guy here potentially. So we need to do something with him, immediately. And yeah, no, this was awesome. I've also for example, with that, with Homare and Shun Skywalker specifically, right? Because Shun got kicked out of Zebrats, and then they rebranded with Kikuta as the leader and everything. And then Homare, though, was the guy that was nah, I don't want to stay with you guy. I'm going to stick with Shun. What I like about it is that both of them, they're technically faces, I suppose, or they're not heels or not members of the heel unit anymore, but they didn't really change their characters.
Yeah, they're just
at all.
Assholes.
They're still Shun is still an asshole.
Well, I was going to bring it up as an example. After the match, Shun made fun of them for beating a young boy, for being so proud of beating a young boy, which is funny because you're the one who said you could beat them with this young boy.
And then tossed the young boy out of the ring.
it was great. I mean, but yeah, so then he brings out their real third man, which is some tall guy in a mask. I have no idea who this was.
I mean, I've seen the speculation that, or rather, speculation or maybe hope, maybe might be the better micro term, of people being if this is TN Revolution.
Yeah, the young Dragon Gate guy who just kind of went back to, he just got injured right away, basically.
Yes, where he trained, he never had any matches in Dragon Gate. They basically sent him on excursion before he like made his debut, and then he like comes into like he like that one. I will say like, I maintain as well. Like that is like one of the like all-time great like debuts basically of like him coming like into like actual Dragongate and just like basically being like, yeah, I'm taking over this promotion now. And then he gets immediately injured and is just gone.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like that was one of the moments where like I feel like a lot of Dragon Gate's current woes go kind of back to that specific moment, because it feels like the promotion never really has felt like kind of the same since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows if it's him? If it is, then let's see if he can like recapture that flame or not.
Because that guy was kind of tall, and this guy was also kind of tall.
Exactly.
So I guess that's a speculation. So
yeah.
I guess we'll say.
Maybe it's Go Shiozaki.
Yeah. Maybe it's Go Shiozaki. Main event, open the Dreamgate title. Madoka Kikuta defeats Benkei in 23:50 with the rolling lariat to make his first defense. So this seems to be a divisive match. I really liked it. I thought, it did start out kind of slow. It was very plotting early, but I thought once it picked up, it really picked up. And it was just like a two big guys throwing bombs and hitting lariats match, which I always have time for. So I went 4 stars on this. I really liked it. Definitely a match that I enjoyed watching here. And, the top two of this, I wouldn't say this saved the show. It's not like the show was like bad or anything for an undercard before that, but it definitely put the show over the top as a great Korakuen.
I think I'm slightly lower on this match because I just thought like the early part of this match was just really, well, actually the early part, but like it's like the middle part, I think really was the part that I found really, really meandering of just kind of, I did like some of the heel work that Kikuta was doing, like him doing like these like repeated stomps to like Benkei's like midsection. And at first they're kind of like lazy, right? Like they're kind of just like, I think it was like right, yeah. So like he just kind of does these like kind of like lazy kicks to his midsection, and then as like Benkei kind of refuses to stay down, they get like more intense and more intense. Like I thought that was really, really nice work from him. But then otherwise, like there wasn't that much really happening. Unfortunately, it was just kind of them having a very perfunctory wrestling match. But then yeah, the closing sequence of this was pretty fucking awesome. Right decision as well to like keep it on Kikuta, because I think he works really well as a heel. It's actually something where like I kind of hope that maybe he like comes back to like All Japan a bit as well. Maybe like after he's done with like this title reign, because I think that promotion, like this is the kind of character that like, for example, like an All Japan, for example, needs. Like you don't necessarily need like, like an evil who like constantly cheats or whatever. But like I feel like this kind of heel is something that should be like around much more in like Japanese wrestling. Just this like cocky asshole who just, beats the shit out of his opponent. And then, he can win the match under his own power. Maybe sometimes he will use like the help of his faction. But at the end of the day, like the reason you hate him is because he's just an asshole. And I think Kikuta plays that like almost as good as anybody else in wrestling right now.
Yeah. So there you go. Very good Korakuen. And, we'll cover more Dragongate if we do their next Korakuen, I think. The King of Gate tournament is what's next. It's a 32-man single elimination tournament. I mean, there's a lot of shows that are not currently scheduled to air, so I don't know how we're supposed to watch this tournament, which is weird. But we do know I'll just go over the matches in the Korakuen.
Hasn't that always been the problem with King of Gate, where they only air like half of it, essentially?
I think that's usually the issue.
Because I think it's supposed to be like a house show draw of like go to the house show to like watch King of Gate, because it's the only way you can see it.
The first round matches in Korakuen all look very interesting, though. And those we will definitely be able to see. So that's November 6th. Ryoya Tanaka versus Homare. That could be really, really good. Luis Monte versus Ishin. Naruki Doi versus Soon Skywalker. And the rematch from the, I think this was a Kobe World main event. I can't remember the year. Yuki Yoshioka versus Madoka Kikuta. Is that 2023? 2022? Oh God. Okay. Well, the Blue Jays are already losing 3-0.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! That's why I just fucking get with 3-1 homer. Okay, so things are not going well. But yes. Anyway, apparently we need the Blue Jays to pretend they're playing the Yankees again, because they can't do anything against the Mariners for some reason. Yes, they gave up. Nicole just walked in the room and looked at the screen and was like, "What's going on?" Yes, the game just started. The first 2 men reached base and the third man hit a homer. So things are going great for the Toronto Blue Jays here.
At least I have good sports news. Germany beat Northern Ireland 1-0 in the World Cup qualifiers.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, I don't know why. This is not good. We're gonna lose again, I guess. I mean, it's still very early. It's the first innings. I guess anything could happen, but obviously not a good start. But yeah, the Dragongate, those are the 4 matches in the first round. And then we know the semifinals and finals will be a month later back at Korakuen on December 3rd. So there you go. There's your Dragongate talk for the week. And I guess that's it. I guess we can wrap things up. You can go ahead and plug your podcast I listen to quite often.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, because I just looked at the recording, we kind of nailed that one. Like, if we had gotten it like 2 minutes shorter, we would have hit like exactly 3, because now we're going to go slightly over 3. But yes, you can find me generally on the ML Flow Show podcast, on the Voice of Wrestling podcasting network as well. I host that one with Dorad, where we mostly talk about All Japan and Noah. But we do also every once in a while like dip our toes into, like, for example, Great as well, or like other promotions as well. Like we do like a bit of talk about Big Japan every once in a while as well. So give that one a listen. You can also find it on like all of the like requisite like social media platforms, but honestly, I don't know how active we are on any of them anymore, but sure, you can follow us there as well.
There you go. All right, folks. So we'll be back next week with a special episode. We're going to do some Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame talk, mostly about Japan, as you'd expect. Maybe we'll touch on America too. I don't know. But I believe I definitely have 2 guests. I think 3. I think Adam Berger said he would do it too, if we can find a time that works for him. And then Voice Wrestling Slack favorite Jeff Andrews and returning guest Paul Wedding are going to be on with me. So that'll be cool. The 4 of us will be discussing some various Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame candidates. There's not a lot of big shows in Japan next week, so I figured it was a good time to do it. But yeah, so that'll be your next episode next week. We took 1 week off, but I think from here on out, I pretty much have weekly episodes planned for a while again. So, there's it's not going back to every other week or anything. It was just 1 week I wanted to take off, and it was very quiet in Japan the week before this. So I figured it was a good time to give myself a little break. But yeah, we have, I think, weekly episodes again from here on out. So, right up until the big Wrestle Kingdom preview that I'm planning for December. So the early planning is going to start on that soon. So we'll see how that goes. Also, there's a lot of Wrestle Kingdom week coverage on the Voice Wrestling website in general now. There's a page up that Rich and Griffin put together, and I know there's like a Discord channel for it specifically. So you can definitely check that out. Where it seems like a lot of people are going this year. I'm pretty surprised how active that channel's been already. But yeah,
I mean Tanahashi's retirement is a draw. Like,
yeah,
you can literally see it in the like ticket move as well.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are interested in going to that. So, all right, folks. You can follow us on Twitter at Wrestle Omakase. Wrestling, of course, would not fit. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Just1MB. And we will see you next time.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragongate is how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragongate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
Hello, Voices of Wrestling listener. Dave Ryan here. Have you ever wondered to yourself how many hidden gems are hidden away inside the last years of World Championship Wrestling? Have you ever asked yourself how many tenuous gags can be made about the name Mike Enos? And have you ever thought about what it sounds like for two Irishmen to interpret a very chaotic company through its B show? The answers to all this and more are just a click away. Check out Days of Thunder every second Thursday on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.